All right, you got it.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Here we are, part number 2. Ready to move forward and get this thing done.
Shabbat shalom.
How are you? Everybody ready to go? Y'all got y'all commandments ready to go? All right. Let's get our commandments so that we can acknowledge the Creator in all that we do. Give Him thanks and praise earlier. We gave Him thanks and praise. Now it's time for us to honor Him.
Okay.
All right, let's see what we have. Do we have any commandments?
We don't have any in the comments, but I do have mine.
Okay, you can go.
Okay. 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay. My commandment can be found in the book of Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 23, verse 3. And it says, an Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Creator, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Most High forever. So what I understand that to mean is those who are descendants of Ammon or Moab, Ammonites and Moabites, can not enter into the congregation. It said even into the 10th generation, and then it goes on to even say further, forever. And I believe that is the case, one, because Ammon or Ammon and Moab were conceived by Lot's daughters when they gave him wine, got him drunk, and then commenced to, in so many ways, take advantage of him, sleep with him.
See how bad that alcohol is for you? See why you shouldn't drink that alcohol, be it a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alcohol is named alcohol because of the Arabic word alcohol, meaning spirits. Alcohol brings spirits on you, and that's what it does. So may the Most High be praised. Very good commandment
Todarabah.
and very good explanation.
Todarabah. The quote, Saadia put her law in. Sis, if you could put your explanation, I'll read the law for her. So the law can be found in Deuteronomy, Leviticus, Wayikra 26, verse 40 through 41. Let me get to it. All right. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespass against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and then they accept of the punishment of their iniquity. So she has as her explanation, repent to the Creator. I'm sorry, repent to the Creator for the iniquities of our past. Understand that when you walk contrary to the Creator, the Most High will walk contrary to us. Though after repentance, where we offer praise, the Most High will come to us and be with us.
Oh, may the Most High be praised. Very good commandment. May the Most High be praised. Did you say something, Emma?
Lo.
Okay. And you got a commandment for the day?
Yeah, Kane, 1 second.
Can barely hear you.
You hear me now? Is it low?
Yeah, it's about the same. Well, go ahead, I got you.
But yeah, I got mine. I'm looking mine up. I'm not. I'm finding it now. So give me.
You looking yours up.
Yeah, I'm getting mine.
Profile crown, Shabbat Shalom. Profile crown, Shabbat Shalom. All right, we're in a part of our Shabbat day where we give a commandment to the Creator, one of the Creator's commandments. We give it, and then we give an explanation of the commandment. So, who's next? Who's next? I'd like to go next. No one wants to go? All right, if y'all ain't gonna go, then I'm gonna have to go. Uh, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not seeth a kid in his mother's milk. Thou shalt not. Thou shalt honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be long upon the land that the Most High giveth thee. Is that good enough? I gave like 5.
Most of them were 10 commandments.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see. The commandment that I wanted to present today was a commandment pertaining to bringing a defiled thing into your home. The Creator said, thou shalt not bring in a defiled thing, because thou will be, what's that word? Defiled by it. Thou can be defiled by bringing in unclean things into your home. People don't know, but a lot of things are cursed by the Creator and by other people. Things carry spells. A lot of times people want to give you what they call gifts, but these gifts could be something that they put on it just to bring you down, to tear you up, to destroy you. Also, those defiled things would also be things like unclean foods. If you know that certain foods are unclean, you shouldn't bring them into your home, because you could be defiled by them. You could be defiled by those unclean things. Okay? There's also such thing as unclean people. Certain people that you know you shouldn't be keeping a company with, but yet you keep hanging out with them and want to be friends with them and want to pal around with them, already after you've known that these things are not acceptable by the Creator. You can be defiled by these things. Usually those type of people test you in life, and usually you fail. The first part of that test was by you bringing them in. You already understood that this wasn't something that you should be doing somewhere where you shouldn't be, but yet you allowed yourself to go in that area anyway, and it defiled you. All right? Shabbat Shalom, Sister Sakari. Ima, could you reach out to AIM and see what's going on with her daughter if she passed the message on, so we can get her in?
Kane, I will.
AIM, you got a comment? Yes, Ima.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you brought that up about the defilement of what, it made me think about, remember I called you the other day about that sister who told me because I'm not a believer in the Moshiach or the Mashiach, that she can't bid me shalom or welcome me into her home. It made me think about that. I don't know why, but because in so many words, that's how she kind of came off, like, because I don't believe in JC to the level she does, that I'm a cursed thing. And then she even went on to say that she would have to treat me indifferently than she would treat an Israelite who believes as she believes. So it made me think about that. I don't know why, but that's what came up in my mind.
Yeah, a lot of Israelites hold on to that type of idolatry that's taught through those camps. That if a person doesn't agree with you and accept as you accept as what they've been teaching, that not only is that person not in the truth, but that person shouldn't be somebody that you would even have into your home. Once you come in and you speak to somebody and you try to educate them and teach them in the ways of the Creator. If they don't accept it, you're supposed to cut them off. That's what those religions teach. But we're not dealing with religion. We're dealing with the truth of the Almighty. Because when those people start speaking, this is one of the questions I would have to ask them. Well, who cut you off when you didn't believe as you believe now? You see, there was always a point in time that you didn't believe something as you understand it to be right now. But you was given an opportunity, although you disagreed with what was being said, although you disagreed with it, you was given an opportunity to accept or to learn or to hear. And usually it's because somebody was persistent with you to help to educate you. Usually that's the way it goes, you know? So just because you guys have a different point of view, a different understanding on things pertaining to religion, per se, doesn't mean that you have to discontinue association with that individual. The only time, in my opinion, the only time that you should disassociate individuals' relationship with any individuals is if they're trying to convert you to what they believe, their deity, their God, and their deity and the one that they serve is not the Creator. See, because you and I may have a difference of opinion on who the Moshiach is and how the Moshiach moved, but we both serve in the Creator. We both believe in the Creator. We both are walking in His law according to what the Creator has to say, but we can differ on the Moshiach because the Moshiach is not the Creator. That's where a lot of people make their mistake, and in their ignorance, they separate from the unity that was possible, from the building that the Creator made possible by linking you up with that individual. Like there's going to be a lot of people that's going to see this page, a whole lot of people that's going to have the opportunity to view this video. Well, when they get to this first section, if they have those thoughts in their minds that just because these people don't believe everything like I believe, I can't deal with them, then they will never grow. Their spirits, their minds, their understandings will never grow. There is no way you can serve the Almighty like that. See, that type of teaching comes from a male. I'm gonna have to assume it was a male. It comes from an insecure teacher that's trying to keep his people to himself. Well, if they don't believe it, I know where it comes from because I know them dudes from the original ISUPK. I know them, the original, some of them. So what they used to teach was that when you go to somebody's house and you preach Christianity to them, we ain't talking Christianity. Yes, you are. You're talking Christianity. When you're talking Christianity to them and they don't accept what you say, you kick your shoes off at the door of their house and you leave. You don't go into their house. That's what they taught. But that's not the way to win souls. That's not a way to get somebody who's committing prostitution to change from committing prostitution and coming to the light of the Almighty. That's not the way to change somebody that's living in darkness, to come out of darkness and begin to turn into the ways of the Most High. But the one thing that I found funny about that, you know, they say if you don't believe as I believe, then we dust our shoes off, dust our feet off, kick the dust of our heels, and we walk out of your house. We don't mess with you. We don't deal with you. But I never seen one of them do that to an attractive girl. Not once. I've never seen one of them say, oh, you's a heathen and I ain't messing with you. No. They try to do everything in their power to convert them chicks, to change them chicks around so that they can get them chicks and leave them chicks or put them to work while they stay home. I've never seen it, not once. Have I ever seen it? I know a lot of them. I've never seen one of them say to a female, an attractive female, no, you don't believe as I believe, so I can't mess with you. We gone. I've just never seen it personally. So let's go to the audience. What do we have in the audience? No, because their whole game, a lot of them, their whole game is about getting as many women as they can. That's why many of them, or let's say most of them, don't stay married to one woman for too long.
Mm.
They go from woman to woman to woman to woman, especially when they're new in this way and they first found out they can practice polygyny. Oh, they go through women like they changing their clothes. And that's sad because our Israelite men, we supposed to know better than that. All right. Underneath the crown, did you have a commandment you wanted to present today? Born crown, Rapha crown, first crown, head crown, crown of crowns. That's true. They don't. Not yet. Okay. All right.
All right.
Bonnie, go ahead. You got the floor.
Okay. So mine is coming from Leviticus chapter 19.
Is there any way you can get to your mic?
Can yeah, I can look at my settings too in a second, try to see what's going on. But are you able to hear me?
Yes, much better.
All right. So it's Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 13. It says, "Do not oppress your neighbor, and do not rob the wages of him who is higher. It is not to remain with you all night until the morning." What that scripture means to me is that if you have a business or you have some type of business or wealth or anything that you have to where you can have people that work for you, it says that you should not rob them of the wages that they are due. And then if you have the wages to pay them, you are not to let it sit with you. You know what I mean? And so you are to just deal uprightly with them, and pay them what they are due. And I was gonna say too, when I used to work with my grandfather, this all kind of stuck out with me for a reason. Because when I worked with my grandfather and we used to landscape, he used to pay me like by the day, right? And so even if he didn't get paid from a certain job, like he would always still make sure that he paid all his help, and that's how he taught me. It's like, if you have someone working with you, you pay them, by the day. You know what I'm saying? Because they work with you that day. And then here recently, the job I work for now, I was supposed to have gotten my check on Friday, and I ended up not even getting my check until Sunday. So this law right here in particular, it stuck out to me. So,
That's sad. May the Most High be praised. The only thing I see around that is if you and that individual enters into an agreement to get paid on a certain day, then that automatically makes that day the day that is due. If you change and you enter it into an agreement. But just naturally, without that conversation, without that agreement, when somebody works with you or for you, at the end of that day, before the setting of the sun, you're supposed to pay them their wages. You don't dictate what a person does or what he earns. You have to give that to him because it belongs to him. May the Most High be praised. Turn to Rabbi. Are there any other commandments? We have any other commandments from anyone?
Okay, and I have Zaquina Laurel's commandment. 1 second.
Has AIM contacted you yet?
No, she didn't reply yet. So, Zaquina Laurel's is found in Leviticus, Wayikra, chapter 19, verse 18. And it reads, "Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Creator." And her explanation is, 1 second. It reads, "Who is your neighbor?" clearly referred to a fellow Hebrew. Members of your community, the Israelites, were to treat such persons fairly and kindly. They were also to extend the same kindness to the foreigners living amongst them. Verse 33 and 34. How one treated a neighbor was important in determining righteousness, and that's what the Creator asks of Israel. Love your neighbors as yourself.
Very good. May the Most High be praised. I wouldn't expect anything less than that from Sister Laurel. So AIM is not responding.
No, she didn't respond yet.
Can you step to the side and call her phone? Make sure she's not pressing.
Okay.
Tell her about. All right, family. So we had our portion today, and we wonder if people really understand. She's probably asleep. We wonder if people really understand why they choose who they choose by way of relationship. So we would like to hear from some of you. We're sure everybody here in the audience have all had relationships throughout their lives, at least one, because I know y'all good girls and I know y'all good guys. So at least one. Tell us, share with us, what made you choose? What is it that made you choose him? And brothers, what is it that made you choose her to be close to you in your life? Let's talk. What is it that made you choose the individuals that you could, whenever you close your eyes and you think about the person that was closest to you by way of relationship, what made you choose that individual? And then, not what just made you choose them, but what made you stay with that individual? Yes, we're talking about a physical person. Physical person. Exodus 22:18, suffer not a witch to live. You want to explain that to us, sis? Sister Saada? Yes. We're talking about a relationship. What was it that made you choose the individual?
She didn't give me. There was no answer. Abba.
I hope everything is okay. Okay. We get the Most High's will. Everything will be fine. All right. Sister Rofi Crown, you got the mic. Let's talk.
Oh, you always calling me out, friend. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
At first I thought that this was talking about the creator. So if I may, I may, I'll answer it from both perspectives.
Yes, yes.
Um, so first off, people would say that, oh, you were born in this way of life, you had no choice to choose the Most High. And I would say I did have a choice because I'm my own person. I experienced my own things in life. But what made me choose him to continue to live this way of life is because I see the benefits. See the benefits. I've experienced the heathen life, not walking in their life, but having friends that are in this way of life that are not in this way of life. And it just made me see that they have no type of boundaries. They have no limitations to what they'll do, what they'll say, how they'll live. And it just makes me thankful for my parents to raise me in this way of life. So that is the reason why I continue to stay in this way of life, even after moving out of my parents' home. So that's why I chose the Most High, because it gives me boundaries. And as humans, we err, we make mistakes. But when we have the laws of the Creator and we have boundaries to live by, it refrains you and restricts you from doing those things that we see other people do. So that's my question to the question. That's my answer to the question that I thought it was about. Secondly, what made me choose? I would say that I didn't do the proper investigations, so I chose wrong. And I would say this to all male and female, to make sure you do the proper investigation on the person that you're choosing. Seek elderly advice. Of course, always keep the Most High, in your relationship by praying to the Creator. And make sure you know that person. Make sure you know that person, because it's very ugly to be in a relationship and stay in it and have children for years, and then years later on down the line, you get to realize that this person is not who they say they are. And then you have to divorce, and then now you have a split home, and you have children that are in this relationship, and you have to consider the children. But it's sad when that has to happen. So it's wise to make sure you know your person, and don't look for love. Don't look for love
Say
when
that
you choose a
again.
woman.
Say that again.
Don't
Don't look for
don't
what?
don't look for love.
Oh
Don't
man.
use love as a key point. Like, I love him. Oh my God, I can't. He's just so gorgeous, or she's just so beautiful. Because that stuff fades away.
Oh,
When
you
it
talk. You
when
talk
it
my language.
it's
Keep going.
true.
Keep
When
going.
they get older and his muscles start to droop, and her cardio just starts to flatten out, and she gets pimples, and he just starts to get wrinkles, and then what you saw in that person 10, 15, 20 years ago is not the same person. You fall out of love. But when you get to know the person and their character and their personality, that's who you attract to. That's what you're supposed to attract yourself to. What they live by, how they live, who they say they are. Not physical looks, not love. And I made those choices. And that's I made a mistake. I wasn't looking for the latter in my partners when I chose them. So that's all I have to say.
No, that ain't all you got to say. I got to ask you a question.
Sure.
And you got more to say. But how could you truly get to know somebody? You really, really don't, in my opinion, you really don't know nobody until they're tested.
And that's when you test them. You test them during, and I believe in courting. I believe in courting without physical, um, without having intercourse. I believe in courting. I believe in getting to know the person. I believe in getting to know their family, their parents, if they have children, their brothers, their sisters. You have to really get to know that person and talk to them. It's okay with courting. It's okay with courting, but nowadays, America, 2024, they equate with courting with quote unquote dating and having sex and doing all it. No, because that it blinds you. When you do that, it blinds your decision making. So, like you said, you have to really get to know them. And if it may take a year for you to get to know them, it may take longer, but you have to try the person that you're courting. Say a few things that make them upset and see how they react. See
Ah,
how they live.
somebody be listening, boy. You see that? Go ahead. Say a few things and see how they react. Get them upset. Get them mad. Get them frustrated.
Yeah,
But have your notepad in the back. Be writing your notes so
it's
that you don't
true.
forget. That's right. So that you don't forget. Because people are something else. People will camouflage and pretend to be something for 1 or 2 years.
And listen, and if their parents are really truthful, they'll tell you. Like I had a parent tell someone, "Hey, you don't want to marry my son. You don't want to marry my son. He will mess you up. He would mess your credit up. He would dog you out. He would do this." And the person thought that the mom was being jealous because that was her only son, and the mom was being hateful, but the mom was telling the truth. So get to their close circle and get to know that person.
And I think that you should also get to the family. I think you should also look at the family. Because a lot of times,
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of times the family tells you how that child was raised or how he is or her as an individual.
Absolutely.
For me, did you want to say something?
No, I was agreeing with you. I said absolutely.
For me as a man, you look at a woman, look at a mother. Look at, would you marry her mother? Because if you wouldn't marry her mother and she's raised in the house with her mother, more than likely she's going to be like her mother. Usually, that's the way it is. Now, that might not be in every situation, but in a lot of situations, that's exactly how it is. That young lady, she's slim now. You look at her mom 60, 50, 60 years old, her mom fat. She gonna end up being like her mama soon because she has the same customs, she eat the same foods, the same traditions, she's in the same social circle as her mama, and she gonna end up being just like her mama. Usually that's the way it goes. Her temperament, her attitude, quick to anger, doesn't show kindness to people, doesn't show mercifulness to people. She's not cooperative. She's very disagreeable, hard to work with, can't hardly build with her. You can't tell her nothing. She knows everything. And you can learn all that just by watching her mama. She knows everything. No matter what you tell her, she will trust her friends before she trusts and rely on you. You got to be careful. Watch and you'll see. A lot of people are just like their mama, the female version. And a lot of guys do imitate their fathers, even if their fathers ain't in the home. What that mean? They'll run out on their children just like their daddy did on them. You gotta watch it, you know? And when you meet a guy who already has children, how does he treat his children? Because how he treats his children is going to tell you how he's going to treat your children if you have any by him. You got to watch these. These things are so common. Another thing you got to look at, you got to look to see if there's any mental illness in the family. Diagnosed, treated mental illness, or untreated, but yet diagnosed mental illness. Does that run in their bloodline? Because if it's due, why would you want to have a child by that individual, increasing your chances of having a mentally challenged child? Why would you want to do that? See, these are just some of the things that people don't think about when they're out meeting people. They're courting people. They don't think to go see if the man or the woman like animals. How do they treat elderly people? Do they have a relationship with anybody older than them? You know, no, most people don't think about these things, but these are all key points when you're choosing a mate. We did have a speaker to come in today, other than Rofi Crown, but she didn't show up yet. I haven't heard from her. I guess she's either running late or she couldn't get the link. I should have took a phone number, or my wife should have took a phone number, somebody, so we can text her to see if we can get her in there. Because as it is right now, she's not showing up. And she was the basis for this whole conversation today, but she ain't showing up. But that's okay, because around here we do the law and we know how to move. Yeah, around here we know how to move. So let's see. How about you all in the audience? How about you all give up your opinion and what you do and how you think? What was it that made you choose him? And for brothers, what was it that made you choose her when you chose that individual that you brought close to you in your life?
Zaquinus Christ says, relations for me has always began with having similar beliefs. My grandmother told me to get to know who you're dealing with, pay attention to their ways, and wait to see if there are changes.
How long did your grandma tell you to wait? Sister Sakari. How long grandma say wait to see if there's changes in their ways? Because you know, people are crafty. They wait, they hide it very well in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They hide it very well.
Mm-hmm. I like what Rofi Crown said. I definitely have to agree with her. I think that's been most women issues. We don't listen a lot of times because a family member will definitely tell you, and then also your parents will tell you, like, no, not that one. But because we are blinded by the L word, love or lust, and we just want to do it, we throw out everything that people are saying and we just go all in. And like she said, then you're left with broken families. You're broken in different ways because you stepped into something that could ultimately have destroyed your life, destroy your children's life, and so I think a lot of times, I know for me, it was more just because I wanted to, not listening to, and then seeing the signs and just saying, we have this tendency to say, oh, yeah, well, they'll be different with me. But a person is who they're going to be. Um, like, I do believe that you can help someone, but if they're not trying to become better, it doesn't matter what you say, what you do. If that's not their goal, you're just really wasting your breath and your time. So I think everything she said, is, yeah, it's true. We have to take our time. We have to do we have to do background checks. I think I saw somebody said that. We just got to really go into it and check the people out. And like they said, the family would tell you. But also, sometimes a person can come from a good family and be a bad seed, you know,
Yeah,
because
but that's rare. It's
I
it's
mean,
it's
it's
better.
rare, but it happens. It does happen. But I think too, you got to, you just got to really pay attention and then choose. And I mean, choose yourself. Like, it doesn't hurt. I've learned the hard way. It doesn't hurt to say no, even if you feel like you've already made that decision, and let other people know, hey, I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna be with this person. If your spirit is telling you to walk away, walk away. It's better you do it now than you go into that union, have children, or not even have children, but go into that union and it causes more damage. So yep, that's it.
All right, very well. May the Most High be praised. May the Most High be praised. There's so much going on. Uh, Sister Sakari said a comment. She answered that.
Oh, she said uh her grandmother said there are times and ways that show up when they get when they get show when they I don't know when they show you who they are. It time for me to see the signs.
It takes time for me to see the signs. I guess that's what she's saying. Very good. Yeah, it takes time for you to get to know the type of people they are. And that's true. But people hide that very well. So what's some of the things that have taken place in your life that has helped you to pick the ones that you felt worked out or are working out? How did you two come together? Did you examine their lifestyle, or was it just something that happened and then you just realized how blessed you were? Or was it something that was determined, premeditated? You designed how you wanted it to be and then you executed it. How did it go, fam?
Um, for me, honestly, after my second marriage did not work out, the day that we actually got divorced, I made a vow to the Creator, and I didn't speak of that vow to no one. And then I just started implementing everything that I vowed to the Creator within myself. And I kept, talking to myself about it, about what it is that I need to do and why, if it's not done to the degree of the vow to the Creator, then there won't be a next time, because you can't keep making the same choices and then blaming everybody else for it. It's like at some point you have to accept, that you're not capable of choosing on your own. And then, ask the Creator, because even in the vow, it was questions that I asked the Creator. It was things that I asked the Creator to show me within myself and to show me within that whatever man came to be a part of my life. And when those things appeared, is what showed me that that was the right decision. And then, like in our relationship, an elder actually initiated us. So it wasn't it wasn't even something that I was looking for at the time. Well, with you, let me not say not a relationship, but with you. And so when the elder did approach me about it, I wasn't sure, and I told her I wasn't sure. I told her I wasn't really interested in being the wife of a prince or a leader in Israel, because I heard so many and I seen so many just terrible examples of leaders and how they treat their wives and their families. And I just felt like a lot of people who have those titles were abusing the titles. So, of course, that was my prejudgment of you prior to, he's so silly, um, prejudgment of you prior to getting to know you, because I was just like, no to her. But, she counseled with me about it. And basically, in so many words, she just made it happen. Um, but then the vows that I made to the Creator, without even telling you about the vows, you did a lot of them. And I acknowledged them with the Creator and allowed the Most High to kind of lead our relationship. And then plus, we asked a lot of questions. We had like a whole interview process between the two of us, um, along with the elder kind of guiding our courtship in many ways.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You trying to enter into a relationship with me is going to be like a job application. You have to fill out a resume and the whole 9 yards, background examination, everything. He gonna be asking questions. What's your shoe size? How many toes you got? What's today's date? He gonna ask you things. You gonna be like, what difference does that make? Because he gotta make sure you can read. He gotta make sure you intellect. He gotta make sure you on point. He gotta make sure your mind is in the right place and you know what day it is and what time it is, and you ain't walking around with 6 toes. He gotta make sure. All that
Hmm.
stuff is important. But we just killing it right now, ain't we? All right, Sister Aisha wrote something in the room.
I see it. Sister Aisha says, I can say the reason I'm single is because most don't want to go through a courtship. Nowadays, people are looking for relationships without commitment. This is why I believe in arranged marriages and having elders to guide the relationship.
Wow. Okay, it sounds good. May the Most High be praised. I believe that we should have elders to guide the relationship, and I agree with her that we should go through a courtship with everyone that we marry, because it's so important that you take that time to get to know that person, study that person, and learn that person the best you can. And then I agree with Sister Rofi Crown that you test that person, make them mad, make them get mad at you intentionally, just to see how they
Hmm.
respond, because he might beat you down. That'll be the last beating down he get to do. You won't know unless you test him. You know what I mean? Step on his shoe, step on his white sneakers. Step on his white sneakers intentionally, and then look him in the eyeball and say, Dad, look at what I did, and see how he respond to you. That'll let you know a little bit about him. All right? I got a woozy question for y'all in a minute, but I want to take all these responses.
Okay. Sister Saadia says, I am single now because I thought the person I joined to was righteous. When I saw the signs, I did not leave. I kept trying until I was completely burnt out and sick. Mm.
Wow, that was dedication, that was sincerity, that was committed. That's what you were doing. You were trying to make it work, but it don't work like that. You can't. You do see it, but for some reason you don't have the right spirit upon you to pull out and to run away from it. So that happens. That happens. Sister Shivanya, Sister Ornette, Sister Shivanya just popped in. Let's see
Hmm.
what we have.
Sister Anit says, I chose my child's father because I was moving in lust. At the time, I just wanted what I wanted, and I messed around and found out.
At the time, I wanted what I wanted, but I messed around and I found out. May the Most High be praised. You know what I like about this, and they say that this doesn't happen, but all I hear is sisters being accountable for the mistakes that they made in their life. I hear that. That's all I hear. And that's important because they say that women are not accountable. There's no accountability in the level of women. But I see this today and I'm thankful to hear it. And y'all are really standing up and y'all proving them wrong. Is there any other ones you want to read?
Sister Shivani just said, yep, or they'll put you outside.
Yep. Put you outside. That's deep.
And underneath the crown says, so sad that we have to do things like that to make sure. It really is. It's real sad.
Well, if we was living in a perfect world, we wouldn't have to do those things. But then I feel sorry for the ones that don't do it and then find out that they married a creep later on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a real creep. I mean, somebody that threatens your life, somebody that you're afraid to go home to because you don't know if you're going to come out the next morning. I mean, it could be a whole lot worse than what it is right now.
Yeah.
But here's my question to you all. I heard all the great comments. And sisters, no brothers are speaking up. They're just in the background listening. So no brothers are taking the floor and speaking up right now. I don't know why. Maybe they think this is an all women show and just Prince get to ask questions, but that ain't what it is. We can communicate. Why did you choose him? You can tell us why you chose her. We can talk. But here we go. Most of us chose our mate out of lust, whether we want to admit it or not. The majority of us chose our mate, no matter which one it is, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 29th, 28th, 27th, 20th, 30th, the 50th, the 60th, the 70th, or the 80th, or the 100th, 110, 120. No matter what number it is, most of us chose our mate out of lust because it was something about them. I don't know how many is really going to be that honest, but it was something about them that we desired and we felt like we just had to have it. Maybe he had husky muscles like Prince. See the muscles Prince got? Maybe he had husky muscles like that or something, you know? And we felt like, oh, I just got to get that. Maybe he was a good-looking, attractive dude with a smooth face and curly hair. And all you imagined was hugging him and playing in his hair all night. Maybe that's why you chose him. Everybody's not going to give the absolute truth as to why they chose the person that they chose at that particular time.
Mhm.
But here's my question for you. How many of you have chose the individual and now you got children by that individual and now you wish you had not have made that decision? Are you that honest that you can speak like that? Because a lot of people go, man, I ain't gonna talk like that about my children. No, we're not talking about your children.
Right.
We're talking about how many of us gave into that lustful passion only to find out that the person we gave ourselves to was not worthy of us. Because we did everything we can do to keep it together, to be truthful and loyal and committed, but that individual was crazy, a kookaloo, a bum, an alcoholic, a crackhead. He had AIDS, herpes. We didn't know. We found out, we ran for our lives. I don't know, family. How many of us actually are now left with children from a bad situation that we once thought that individual was going to be all right? I got to raise my hand too, because I got a couple of them too in my life. Yeah, I had females, man. What made me choose the individual? Well, one of them I chose because she was so pretty. Oh, she was so fine. She was fine like a bottle of wine, even though I ain't drink. She was so fine. And she was a nice height and all that. Basal was Rofe and all that good stuff. You know, I thought it was just, man, all right, we're going to make this happen. And when I met her, I immediately went into husband mode and we were just courting. We courted for a whole year, 11 months to be exact. We courted for 11 months before we did anything crazy. 11 months. I thought it was going to be a good woman. I was wife number 3. And I mean, that marriage was hell. It was a bad marriage. I held on so long because I was trying to make it work, kept trying to make it work, kept trying to make it work. No matter what she did, I tried to make the marriage work. But at that time, what I didn't realize at that time is that I was under a curse by the Creator. That the Creator had taken my mind because I had promised some things that I would do that I didn't do. Therefore, he gave me over to my desires. And that's why I'm able to say what I'm able to say, that the Creator gives you over to your desires when you put your desires before him. This first woman would do things that I knew wasn't right, and she was in need of a bill of divorce. Because I had several children from her, I didn't want to give her a bill of divorce, and I kept trying to make that marriage work, but it couldn't work. She needed to be released from the marriage a long time ago. I was married to that young lady for 15 years. 15 years of my life I was married to her. And I might have had a good 6 months out of that 15 years that I can actually say I enjoyed myself in a relationship. But it's something in those relationships that keeps you attached, keeps you held hostage in those relationships, although you know in your spirit and your essence that you need to leave. There was one time, matter of fact, twice in that marriage. See how I'm talking? That's how I'm trying to see y'all talk. We ain't got to be bashful and shy about this. There could be something that you say today that can help somebody else out in the situation that they're in because of you being honest. See, Prince is talking. I'm not teaching right now as I normally do, like a teaching thing. I'm talking about life's experience. There was times when twice that I can recall, where this young lady would stay out and go to her mama's, so she say, go to her mom's apartment and leave all the children home with me. Twice that I know of. And I let it ride, Y'all wonder why I am today like I am. It's because y'all made me this way. She said, I ain't make you nothing. Sure you didn't. Somebody you knew that was like you did. So here we go. So I finally come one day and I see her conversation on Facebook with one of her girlfriends talking about this other dude, how she would like to. I said, what? And we're in law. We're living in law. But at this time, our marriage was on the outskirts. It was way out. You know, she was somewhere else and I was somewhere else. I was in this way serving the Creator. She was into some Egyptology stuff, trying to move in a direction of Egyptology. So I come home one day. Before I came home, I was at my other Isha's house. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking on Facebook and she says something about this guy. About she wished she had some kind of, I'm trying to remember what it was. Something like she wished she could have did something with his sweat, something like that. So I went straight home. I got up out of that one house and I went home to that house and I wrote her out a bill and I gave it to her. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? What did I do? What did I do? So I brought it to her recollection, and I told her and I showed her. I said, because you spoke about being with another man in a way that a woman should never do that, a married woman. So I gave her a bill at that time. That was one of the strengths of my highlights of that situation. I gave her a bill. She stayed in my house for about another year before I had to put her out my house. And before I put her out my house, look, Prince airing out all his dirty laundry. I don't have dirty laundry. I'm trying to tell the people what happened. This is a reality. And before I put her out my house, she walks through my house and she had children that I raised, that I took care of. I took care of her family. Her mama lived in my house with her children, everybody. I provided for everybody. I'm not even speaking about the children I had with her. She takes a hammer, her and her little children, and busts up my house. Busts all the mirrors, broke the banisters, cracked, bust holes in the hardwood floor. Everything they could think. They took my mirror, my tile, and my kitchen was glass. The whole back of the kitchen tile was glass, granite. They take a hammer and crack that all up. They tore my house up. Over $100,000 worth of damage. Tore my house up. And I gave her a bill. She had to go. That's what she did on her way out the door. But I wasn't there when she did it. When I got home, that's what happened. But why did I choose her? Out of lust, for all the wrong reasons. And I ended up later on regretting my decision. But I realized I was under a curse by the Creator, and I had to get up under that curse. And let me tell you, it's a struggle when you see the imminent danger right before you. Making that transition and getting yourself out of that situation is dangerous. It's very difficult to do because your heart says one thing, but your mind says something else. This ain't going to work. You know, you all wrapped up in your emotions with this individual, but this individual is a demon. And you don't realize it. You don't understand it. I mean, you do realize it. You do understand it, but you were captivated by that demon. And for me, I know as a man, speaking as a man, it was all about lust. Completely from the beginning to I had 5 children with that young lady. 5. So that was nothing but lust. I understood it. Today, I can never go down that path, ever, 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 ever. I made a promise to the Creator that that would never happen again. And I do everything in my power. I did everything in my power, and I had to remake myself. You know, after situations like that, you have to go on a fast, a long fast, and study yourself, understand yourself. But at that time, I was under that curse, and I couldn't see anything, nothing. Brothers would come to me and say, "Hey, yo, you gotta get away from this chick, man. Yeah, 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 man. Stop hating, man. You just want her for yourself, man. You know, you turn against those who care the most about you and are really looking out for you. You think you're making the right decision because you know you're a man, you're trying to take care of your household and provide for your children, but that woman that you are with doesn't deserve you, doesn't deserve a man like you. So when I ask you how many of you have gotten stuck in those situations and yeah, you're out of the life of that man or out of the life of that woman, but yet you still got children and you're stuck behind with those children. I asked you all, how many of you are in that situation? And almost nobody raised their hand. Almost nobody had nothing to say. So I'm going to open the floor down because I just opened up and bared so much, told y'all so much in my personal life that I didn't have to share with you guys, but I did because that's who I am. My whole life is an open book. I have no secrets. My whole life is an open book. If there's anything about me that you want to know, all you got to do is ask. Don't let it be burning a hole in your heart when you really want to know. Ask your question and you'll get that answer. But here we go. I want to hear from you all. Sister Sharon, Shabbat Shalom. How are you, sis?
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Miss Tata. I'm blessed. I'm up and accounted for. I thank the Most High for
Can you
allowing.
get can you get any louder, sis?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
It's still a little low, but we'll be patient.
Okay, one moment. Give me 1 second. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Okay, yeah, we'll bear with it. Go ahead, speak,
Okay.
sis. Are you speaking, Sister Sharon? Oh, she got just
Not dropped. She'll come back.
all right.
I'm gonna read a comments. Couple of comments.
Okay, go over to there.
Sister Isaiah says, "I chose my Ish because he was all I wanted and needed, even when I didn't even know what I needed, and it was truly from the Creator."
May the Most High be praised. Very good.
And then Yahoo, Brother Yahoo said, "I prayed to the Creator for my Isha and asked her a million questions. I told her exactly what I wanted and what my mission was, and I took on all the responsibilities that came with her."
May the Most High be praised. Total Rabbah.
And then he said, "And we've been growing ever since."
May the Most High be praised. That's extremely important to be patient and wait on the Almighty. Do we have any other comments there?
Uh, Sister Shavanya says, "You can die in the process. I remember when I knew it was over with the person she was with, I was hearing that voice that told me to cut your veins. I heard it a few times, but I didn't listen to it. Instead, I started smoking." And she said, "Start smoking weed again to lessen the pain that I had 8 years. I didn't do it, but breaking up from a relationship is not easy. I commend anyone to hold on to the Most High no matter what happens in your life."
I need you to read her story again, please. Is that the beginning? Is that the beginning? Iman, is that the beginning?
I'm scrolling up to see. She said, "I was in love with him. It was not lust. And then she goes on to say, wrong. Then she goes on to say what I just said. That's why he took the brother and his tribe out of my life, because I was serving them more than the Creator. She said that's why so much turmoil for me with them, because I didn't put the Most High first. Baruch Hashem, to the Creator, never ever I would do that.
All right. May the Most High be praised. Total Rabbah. May the Most High be praised.
I'm not sure if this is a sister, but she said Shabbat
Yeah,
Shalom.
sister.
Huh?
That's a sister.
Okay. Sister TT says, Shabbat Shalom, listening to your story is horrifying. A married and narcissist who wanted to be the wife. When I demanded that was my birthright, he threatened to burn my house down with me in it.
I need to ask you, sis, what do you mean he wanted to be the wife? Was he actually gay, a homosexual, or he just act feminine? I need to ask you, Sister TT.
She said, my bot Saadia was a witness to his threats. Our Creator saved me from his evil plans.
Wow. That's sad. May the Most High be praised.
And then she said, I was certainly under a curse. I understand that now. I truly loved him. I tried to build a positive relationship with his mother, though whenever he wasn't around, she'd do things. She'd do digs. His mother could not loosen her grip on him for him to be in a relationship, so I approached him to talk about it. He accused me of being jealous of his mother.
Wow. Sad. Sad.
Zaquina Sakari says, I like grooming, conversation, and behavior. I left my son's father because he was unfaithful. We remained friendly after we separated because of my son. It wasn't always easy. We still are family.
May the Most High be praised. Total Rabbah. Total Rabbah.
Okay.
All right. Sister TT, when you say listening to your story was horrifying, was that my story or reading the other sister's story? All right, let's move on. Sister Sharon, are you back yet?
No, she's trying to log in from her computer. I'm waiting for her to send me her email. And then
Sister Rofi Crown, would you like to speak?
I got a story. Can you hear me?
No, I can barely hear you, man. You like real far away. Oh, my story. Wow, okay. Yeah, I got a whole lot more to it too. I ain't tell it all. Got some more to tell. You want to read that?
1 second, wait. I'm emailing Sister Sharon. Okay. All right. Autumn says, I believe sometimes women might pick and or stay with the man they're with because we want to help or try to change him, not realizing the damage we allow to happen by doing so.
Yeah. And that's one thing a lot of women have to understand. You can't change a man. It ain't going to happen. Chances of you changing him is like you hitting the lottery. 1 in 100 million. The man has to want to change himself. And even often though he wants to change himself, he doesn't know how to change himself. Doesn't know how to. And a lot of people find themselves in that situation as well, thinking they can change a man, but you can't change a man.
Mm-hmm.
She said she learned that lesson the hard way. Yeah. Okay. All right. May the Most High be
Necessitates.
praised.
She said maybe he was gay. He argued and did not want to help pay bills.
Oh, wow. Okay. He didn't know his responsibility. He didn't know his duties. Okay. All right. That happens sometimes. All right. Hey,
Mhm.
you ready to speak?
Low. I'm not quite sure why it's so low.
That's a little bit better. Are you
All right.
close to your microphone?
Yeah, I'm on my computer this time because my screen is messed up on my phone. But
All right. If you could talk like you're talking now, we should be able to hear you.
all right. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of sit in front of the computer.
Oh,
But
that's much better.
all right. But so I want to say this was maybe going on about 3 to 4 years ago, right? And I was living with my grandmother at the time. I'm gonna try to keep it short. I was staying with my grandmother at the time, and I was dating my firstborn son's mother. Quick story short, my grandmother's a pastor, right? And she did not believe in people that are dating. She did not believe in them like staying together. And at the time, she needed a place to stay. So she moved in with us for a while. Ended up, my grandma ended up pretty much making us get married. We got married. A few months after that, we separated. A few months after us getting married, we actually ended up separating. But in this separation, I ended up leaving Georgia and I ended up going back to North Carolina. Going back to North Carolina, I went back there to pretty much focus. This was something that I had told the creator that I was going to do, and refocus, focus on him. So I started working at the airport. I was working at the airport maybe like 4 months, 4 or 5 months. Everything was going well. Everything was going amazing. I was working on getting my first house. Um, Everything was going the way it was supposed to go. And see, kind of a little bit of a history of a background, a little bit of a background on me. Like in school, I've always been very, very, very different, and so I never really went through a phase of like, and this is just for me and my story. Like, I never went through a phase of like, I guess you would say like running through women or anything like that. It's just my upbringing, the way I was brought up. So like, I never really experienced much. Like, I never experienced much when I was in school and growing up. So this was the first time that I was really like on my own for real, just doing my own thing. And I was working at the airport. And when you work at the airport, it's like you seeing over 1,000 people every single day. So fast forwarding, um, you know, it was like I got curious. I got very curious, and I wanted to experience some of the things that I had never experienced. I was always kind of heavyweight. I know people that know me now or see me now, you wouldn't think that I was ever really much bigger, but I was. And so at this time, I was working at a job, and I know I'm going around the barnyard, but just follow me.
Yeah,
Uh,
all over the block.
but yeah, so I would fast forward. Anyways, I meet a girl at the airport, right? And right before I had met this girl, I wanted to try some things, so I started losing weight. More women was coming my way, or kind of throwing themselves at me in a sense, and a few of them I fell for. And then I knew what I was doing at the time. I shouldn't be doing. Like, I knew I shouldn't have been meeting up. I knew I shouldn't have been doing it. And it happened like twice. It happened 3 times. That's what I mean. That's how it happened 3 times. And then the next girl I met, I ended up getting into a relationship with her, not knowing much about her, not really knowing too much, not knowing anything for real. And she ended up being um, like, she was the first woman that I was ever with that was ever like physically abusive, was ever verbally abusive, and she was very damaged herself. So she didn't, she was only a product of everything that she had went through, and she was a girl that practiced homosexuality. So she was with the woman and always getting in the fights and everything with her. So this was the first time I had ever experienced being with someone that was continuously like verbally abusive. Like, we worked at the same job at the airport, so I would be, she was so damaged and so, jealous to the point to where I could not even, another woman could not even look at me, and she would be coming, she would run. whatever she doing, she can be pushing somebody to their gate. She would stop pushing them to their gate to come and find me, come and find me, and cuss me out, yelling at me, out in front of the whole airport, in front of the whole entire airport. This I never experienced nothing like this. And so it was crazy. So then I finally, but Most High was showing me signs like, you need to go ahead and cut this off. You need to go ahead and leave it where it is. But like I said, I was not taking heed to the signs. I was also in a place where I had just left. Like Hebrew camps. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like 3-4 years ago. So yeah, I had just left Hebrew camps. So I was really in a place, and this is just me being transparent. I was really in a place of like, just trying to, I was running. I was just running because of the experiences I had with the camps prior. I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know which direction to go. I didn't know anything. I was just in a place of just running. So I want to say about 2-3 months in, I ended up getting a house. Right, finally, I had not finally, but I had got my house. I set out to do what I was supposed to do, but she ended up getting kicked out where she was at. Right, she was staying with the girl. She ended up getting kicked out with the girl. I ended up letting her come and stay where I was at. You know what I mean? And that was one of the worst mistakes in my life because from that point forward, that house became um, a living hell for me. And like you say, being up under a curse, it's like the Most High had me up under a curse. There's a scripture that says that it's better for a man to dwell in the corner in the housetop, but a corner of the roof in the house, than to be in a wide open space or a wide open house with a brawling woman. And I had never understood what that scripture meant. I thought I did prior in life, but when I went through those experiences with her, it was like the Creator broke me down all the way. He broke me down completely, and rebuilt my way of thinking, rebuilt my way of even viewing women, what I'm saying? Because she had never appeared that way from the beginning, never. But it's like once we cross that threshold, it's very important to uh, get to know a person, court a person, because once you spiritually and you cross that threshold, once you enter into that womb, it becomes a different ballgame. And so, most I was paying for what, even though, like I said, I'm different. The Creator deals with me differently. I don't get a whole bunch of chances to do something. It happened 3 times, and the next woman after that, that's when I learned my lesson. So that's one of my stories of some things that I experienced, and it got so bad to the point to where even when I put her out, like at first I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to go, but you're not gonna stand it. I don't want you staying in my room. You can you can pick any other room. I had a bunch of rooms. You can pick any other room you want. You stay there. She didn't want to do that, so she started damaging stuff in the house. You know what I mean? Knowing that, like, I just moved here, I'm gonna have to go back and tell Benny, was my landlord at the time, like, I'm gonna have to explain all this to him. So she started damaging stuff in the house. You know what I'm saying? We put the bathroom together. We did everything. It was nice. Damaging the house to the point to where, like, I just wanted to get away from her, so I let the house go. Like she said she wasn't gonna leave, so I ended up just completely relieving myself of the situation, and I ended up letting the house go. You know what I mean? Like that's how much my mind was in a that's how low the Most High had brought me for real from what I had did prior, and I knew like I shouldn't have did it. And he sent me through that fire. He put me through that chastisement, and it made me a better man today. But you got to go through that fire. You know what I mean? If you don't take it the time.
All right. God be praised. See, sisters, it ain't just y'all who are going through hard times in relationships. The men also receive these hard times in relationships as well. But there's an answer for most of these things. There's an answer. And we all know the answer inside. We just don't live out the fulfillment of what we know we should be doing. All right? Sister Sharon, are you ready to speak? Sister Sharon, are you there?
Kane, I'm here. Shabbat Shalom. Can everyone hear me?
Kane, excellent.
All right. I just want to give all praises and glory to the Most High for allowing all of us to see another Shabbat day, for waking all of us up, being up and accounted for once again. So the topic at hand is what made me choose him?
Yeah, that was the original conversation. We didn't change up, but go ahead. You can start with that.
Okay, Did we change the topic? Or I'm sorry,
No,
Slinker,
no,
I'm
that
speaking out of
was,
turn, or
no, that's still the topic, but nobody was responding to that after we have exhausted that. So then we started another topic. But go
okay.
ahead, do your thing,
Okay.
and then we'll bring you up to date with the other one. Sis?
Okay, so I would like to speak on the original topic.
Yes.
Okay. So briefly, real quick, what made me choose him? Me and my husband, we've been married for 13 years. And actually, my marriage was an arranged marriage. My Abba arranged my marriage. And what made me choose him? Honestly, and this is going to be real simple, what made me choose him is how he interacted with my sons. Now, when my father first and came to me and he inquired about Brother Ray Judah, what did I think of Brother Ray Judah? I wasn't so pleased because first he was a friend of the families for so long. So I always placed him in a category of no, that's my older brother, or no, like I see him as a brother. I don't see him in that, in that light. But the more and more I started to observe him from afar, the more and more that I started to get to know him and court him, I said, you know what? I actually can see myself with this brother. And the icing on the cake was how he dealt with my sons. I have two older sons. They are not from this marriage. They are not Ray Judah sons. And I seen how he came into the picture and how he took on that father role for the absence of their Abba. So seeing that picture, seeing that really softened my heart, and it really made me look at him as a man of caliber, a caliber of man that I would see myself with. So basically, it's how he dealt with my two sons that wasn't his. Zehu.
Okay, wonderful. So now, with your relationship, you wouldn't even apply to the second part of the question because we were talking about how we had been in. We told all these stories. Everyone had opportunity to speak on why they chose the ones that they had chosen, but they were no longer with the individuals, and then how many of them were stuck behind with children. That was the second part of that. So I guess you could probably speak on your previous relationship or your previous situation and speak on how you were left with children, but you got a knight in shining armor to come in and pick up the pieces and make it all fall in place. See, that's how the Most High works. As long as you remain diligent with the Almighty, He seems to send you a blessing to relieve your pain. Sister Sharon?
Okay, so you're gonna Kane, I'm here. Okay, so quickly, Adon, if you can speed me up so I can answer the topics appropriately, because it seems like I'm answering it in bits and pieces. I want to be able to answer.
You've answered the first topic, and that's excellent. You did a great job. Your response was right on time, and I'm sure you can help a lot of people with it. But let's talk about the previous man or prior to your husband, one of those ones that you chose that did not work out. How did that affect you? How did you choose them? Why did you choose them? How was the relationship? How could it have been better? What could you have done differently? And obviously you did differently by allowing your father to choose your mate. And that's always supreme. We speak highly of that every opportunity. And I didn't know that you were a living example of that. I know your father, know your husband, but I didn't know that it was the way that you two got together. But now that I know, may the Most High be praised. What we're trying to do is feed the audience people. There are a lot of people in the audience who are stuck in these dating relationships and don't know how to get out. Some of them are in good relationships and don't know how to act, don't know how to respond, don't know how to treat their mate. So we're trying to see if there's some encouraging words or some advice that you can give in how you handled those situations that you were in. Like, why did you choose them? You chose them out of lust. You chose them because you wanted to be a part of the in crowd. It could be a whole lot of things. He looked good. He had a couple of dollars, so you chose him. But you found out those was all the wrong reasons. Would you have any response to that, sis?
Cain. Okay. All right. Here we go. My first marriage. um, Actually, my father didn't choose my first marriage. Actually, I was being real rebellious and real disobedient, and I've chose it for myself. And it was the biggest mistake of my life.
Mm.
Um, but it was a learning lesson, of course. So we grew up together. My previous husband, we were childhood friends. And just because you know someone in your childhood doesn't mean y'all are going to get along or y'all going to have that same relationship once that person become your husband, once you live with that person. So I kind of took that, I didn't take that into account. I didn't consider all the other happened. So we actually got together out of lust. Platform, for those who know me, I'm a very open person. I'm a very, I'm a very transparent individual. So we got together because it was a night of drunkenness. I was being a drunkard, and I've had slept with this man. And when I woke up, I realized the actions, the consequences of my actions. Were alert on me because I ran away. I did not want to marry this man. I've came into the relationship where, okay, I'm having a good time. I was drinking, just being in that type of mind state. When I woke up, I realized, like, oh, what did I do? I sobered up really quick and I ran away because I didn't want to face the consequences of my actions. Because knowing my background, knowing the type of family I was raised into, knowing my father would, oh no, this is your husband now. You know, this is your husband now. So I ran away. I ran away. It was a whole big deal. They put out an Amber Alert on me because I knew right then and there if I was to face the consequences of my actions, I knew how that would have looked for me. We're gonna fast forward. We got together. We married for 5 years because after 5 years we divorced. What sustained me so long in that marriage
Sis,
is
your
his
mic.
zeal for the Creator. His zeal for the Creator, meaning he used to praise the Most High day and night. He used to read all the time. He used to dedicate a lot of his works to the Most High. He used to do things for the Most High, whether the people understood it or not. He was so zealous to the Most High, and it maintained me, it sustained me in that marriage. So my personal feelings for him, it out well his I'm gonna put it like this, after decline in his
Yeah, she got dropped. She was dropping it though, wasn't she? Ima, could you go down the list? Sister TT got some stuff.
Hmm. Sister TT says, I was introduced to my ex from a mutual friend. My ex came highly recommended by the community I lived in. He worked in my development and had all of us food. He seemed honest, hardworking, and caring. Once married, he showed all the signs of a violent narcissist.
So, Sister TT, how would things go? How would you choose differently? And what advice would you give to somebody that's in the audience that's hearing these things? You figure that out. Type it in the
Shalom.
room.
My
And
service is not too good.
yeah, so far it's pretty good right now. Go ahead. You got it, sis.
Okay. 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 So that was the beginning of my previous marriage. That's kind of like the background of my previous marriage, how we got married and things like that. His zeal for the creator. He used to be out on the corners preaching. He used to like, just overall his zeal. I'm gonna put it that way. Just overall his zeal for the creator is what sustained me and what kept me so in love, so involved, and sustained me in my marriage for so long. It wasn't until after we divorced, after 5 years, is when I started to see a decline in who he was. Now, previously, before we divorced, I started to see how the who were all from different backgrounds, all different faiths, Christianity, Buddha, just everything. And I seen how he let that influence our marriage, because he would start to, we would start to read out the New Testament, which is fine. That part I really didn't mind it as much, because you want to be able to educate yourself on all types of religions, all types of faiths and everything. So that part I really didn't mind. It started to become a problem when he used to order us to hang up pictures of JC on the wall. When we started to read more of the New Testament versus the Most High law, statutes, and commandments, to reverence the New Testaments and reverence Yahshua more than we did the Most High and his law, statutes, and commandments. So that was the beginning of the downfall of my previous marriage. What my biggest mistake was, I did not court properly. Once again, just because I knew this man from childhood, that doesn't negate that same energy or that same relationship is going to manifest itself when you get married, when you are married to this man, when you are living in the same household with this man. That doesn't matter. I still should have courted this man properly. And that was my biggest downfall. And I always try to tell the youth of today, I always try to tell young women and young men, when you get into these relationships, when you have someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with, court. Get to know this person, because that's really a big ordeal. That really takes. Okay, I'm breaking up. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Sounds good.
Okay, so my biggest downfall was I didn't court this man properly, because when he started to show signs that I wasn't used to, or that he didn't show in the beginning, I'm like, okay, I don't know this man. Who is this man? So it was a constant war, because I didn't know how to maneuver through these type of personality traits, or through these type of characteristics and actions, get to know firsthand. But I'm gonna mute myself. For anyone who has questions, if you want to answer some questions, I'm gonna go on mute.
So would you say that courting, and how long of a court if you do, but you think that courting could have solved a lot of your equation and your problem in marrying too soon? Sister Sharon?
Kane or Dawn, definitely Kane. But I'm thinking, since we've been childhood friends and we got along in our youth, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a breeze. It's going to be a breeze, But that wasn't the case at all. That wasn't the case at all.
So your advice would be for everyone out there in the audience to court as long as possible before marriage and before intimacy. Is that right?
Kane.
Okay, wonderful.
Absolutely.
All right, wonderful.
Kane.
Please don't go anywhere. And anytime you feel like you want to jump in, you can. We have Casey. Shabbat shalom, Sister Casey. How are you? You have to take your phone off your mute. I did it for you. Now we can hear you.
Hi.
Hey, how are you? You have to take your phone off your mute. Whatever device you have in the background, you got to turn the volume down real low. I can hear you. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Whatever device you have in the background, you got to turn the volume down real low. Hey, how are you?
Minute. Oh, gonna have to turn this up.
All right. Yeah, you just got to turn whatever you're listening to, whatever you're watching us on, just turn the volume down on that real low. So therefore, there won't be any feedback coming through your microphone. Let us know when you're ready, sis.
Okay, I'm here.
All right. All right, let's rock and roll. All right, you have the floor, sis. Tell us, what was it that made you choose him? That individual in your life that you chose, that you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with, that you gave yourself to. What was it about the individual that made you walk into that relationship?
Hmm.
You had to think about that. Y'all see that? That was a good question. See, most people, we choose our mate out of lust. We don't go about it the right way. You know, no one is connecting us together like an older person saying this person here could work out for you. Normally, we do these things out of lust. So tell us what you think. Tell us what your opinion was as to why you chose the one you chose and what your experiences were.
To be completely honest, you hit the nail on the head. Um, this is my children's father, my two boys' father. That was exactly what it was. I was around 23 or so when we first met. You know, just a little connection. It was definitely lust at the time. Basically, you know, we did what we did, got pregnant about a month after it was like the first time, got pregnant, didn't even know this man. So spoke to him about it. He said that he wants to marry the first woman that he ever got pregnant. He wants to marry her or whatever. So hey, we did what we did. Got married, but it was a very tumultuous relationship, ups and down. Really didn't get to know each other. So I was pregnant trying to get to know this man, and I immediately found out that was not for me. But because I was young and dumb, I went through with it, you know. Um, 10 months later, baby came. That was the first time I found out that he was also physically abusive because we were both in the military. So when we first, when I was living in Kentucky at the time and he was deployed to Afghanistan. So it was like we were having a long distance relationship, still getting to know each other, but I still knew that wasn't for me just because of, a lot of his actions were just not what the ideal relationship should be. So about 2 months after the baby was born, not 2 months, 2 weeks after the baby was born, he came and did a pop-up visit from Afghanistan. And that was the first time he put his hands on me. And, from then on, it was just a lot of ups and downs. So, a
Let me
lot of
ask,
stuff happened.
let me
Go
ask you
ahead.
this. Uh, let's say, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if you look into your marriage of how it's been with your ex-husband or your current husband, you guys got divorced, you're still married.
Mm-hmm.
Are
No,
you still
divorce.
married or are you divorced?
Divorced.
Okay. So if you look into your past with your ex-husband, How do you think you could have made that relationship work? Was there anything you
It,
think you could have did differently?
no, we were completely two different belief systems, two different ideas of how a marriage should work. It was just no. It was two different mindsets. So it wouldn't. No matter what we did, it just wouldn't work.
So you both had that same mindset when you entered into the marriage, correct? When you started having sex and intercourse and all those type of things, when you started courting or dating, you already had that mindset. He already had his mindset, correct?
Yeah, I would say so. Both of us had our mindsets, but we, like I said, we didn't even know each other, so we didn't even know what each other's mindset was.
So do you think taking the time for a courtship prior to marriage possibly could have helped you to make a better decision?
Oh, of course,
So would you give that advice to people today?
definitely, all the time.
Mm, mm. Because that's very important today. You know, this is why we do what we do here right now today, is to help people to better in their relationships and their marriages. Tell us a little bit of the type of woman that you were, and then tell us a little bit of the type of the man that he was. And of course, we understand we only get in one side of the story. We don't have his side of the story to make it one whole. So we can only take your advice and what it is that you say. So could you tell us a little bit about your side of the story, his side of the story, how you were as a woman and how he was as a man in that marriage that you might think may have led to the separation?
Hmm. Trying to get some thoughts together. Okay, trying. This is 14, 15 years ago, so trying to figure this
I
out.
mean, like things like, all right, let's say for you, you was a housewife. You trusted in the husband's decisions. You let him rule the house as the man. You know, that the things that he chose to do, even if you felt differently, you would neglect your own emotions and you would go with what he said. And things like he was
Exactly.
abusive, he physically abusive, he cheated, he used to sneak out on women all the time. You couldn't trust nothing he said because he lied all the time. These types of things, sis. Like, and then tell us what could have been done different to help prevent the situation. And we're talking so that others who are hearing the story, much younger women or older women, it doesn't really matter, and men, how they can prevent from having the same outcome that you had. So we're really trying to help somebody because we got to build this nation and we got to start the relationships because 99% of our issues are in relationship.
Okay. Honestly, we didn't live together long because when we first met, like I said, we were both in the military. I had just entered the military. He was already a sergeant in the military, so I was around 23 at the time. He was 25. Um, we never really lived together until after our second kid because he was always deployed and I was in the US. So the living together thing, we always basically our relationship was like long distance based. We one time we're together, the next time we're not. Even though if we were married in between that time, we contemplated divorce. Then he asked to get back together. We got back together and it still was a mess. So, he'll behave for like the first couple months and then it will be back to the same mess. So it it was just all of a process because like I said, we didn't know each other and we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. All we knew that together we wanted, because we had a kid together, we wanted the same thing, which was okay, we wanted to have a family. But it sounded better than it actually was. So I would say after like about a year and a half of the on and off marriage thing, we finally tried the living together thing, and that didn't work out either. It was even worse.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a lot of. It was. Also, like I said, a lot of lying, cheating. You know, as soon as I got to know him, I just end up knowing that he had other women, other stuff. You but basically playing in my face and just lying the whole time. And me as a woman, honestly, I was the type of person, no nonsense. I don't take any mess, and I'm still that way. So it was more of, okay.
Meaning what? It was okay what?
It was more like, okay, got it. Yes, I ask questions. If I see that you lied to me, it was like, okay, I'm not big on arguing and different things like that. I'm just more big on, okay, got it. I'll leave you right there by yourself because I don't feel like it's even worth arguing over because you're no longer worth my time. That's always been the type of person that I've been.
Now, am I correct to say that you were the type of woman that had he just came to you and tried to introduce a plural relationship, you would have allowed him to have another wife? Had he at
No.
that point opened up?
Reason why no, because that was not what he introduced to me at first anyway. Because honestly, I didn't believe in that because of my, I grew up because of my parents and stuff in the Seventh Day Adventist church. So the whole the whole Christian mindset was something that I knew. So we didn't know. I didn't know anything about polygamy, polygyny. I didn't know anything about all that. It's just one woman to one man. That's what I grew up knowing, or whatever. So everything else was basically cheating, lying, or whatever it is, because he was never honest about what he was doing in the first place. So, um, no.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So now looking back on the marriage now, what do you think could have been done to fix the marriage or correct the marriage so that you two possibly still could have been married today?
Nothing. Honestly, nothing. Because, like I said, we were in two different spaces, two different mindsets. He was basically his way or no way. There was no bargaining. There was no type of trying to see each other. He wasn't trying to see where I was coming from. It was just more like, oh, okay, if it's not done my way, then it's done. And if he can't control the situation, then he tries to put his hands on people. So that's basically what it was, his way or no way.
All right. So now that you're out of that marriage and it's over and gone, there's no possibility of return. You've already received a
Hmm.
divorce.
Hmm.
What type of things would you look for in your future when determining a spouse? And how would that process look?
Hmm. Future spouse. Definitely someone who knows himself, who knows who he is, who knows what his purpose in life is, honestly. Definitely want someone who is, have a spiritual mindset, because honestly, I feel like you have to believe in something, or you need to have like a grounded relationship with the Most High to even make things work. Because without that, it's like you're lost. Because that's what I've been meeting, just lost people who don't believe in anything. Um, Also, someone who's a provider, protector, someone who's pretty honest, straightforward, no games. Someone who knows who he wants. Someone know what path he's on.
And today, with the understanding that you have, you'll be willing to do polygyny today or no?
At
If
this
you had
point,
all those things, if you had all those things that you're speaking of in that gentleman, would you be willing to do polygyny or would you still not be willing to do polygyny?
I probably would, because I
Why?
understand it at a different level now. It's not what I now that I have a better. I still don't. I'm not gonna stay here and say I understand the full process of polygyny, but what I understand about it so far is not a bad idea. It's not something that I would totally turn my back on and be like, no.
And what type of things would you do differently in your future relationship than what you've done in the past? How would you conduct yourself in your future relationship? What type of person or what things have you learned from the past to make your future relationship better and not repeat the same issues that you had in the past relationship? If you haven't changed as an individual, what makes you think that you can make the relationship different? How do you know you're not just attracting those type of men? How would you know that?
What I would do is honestly, hmm, pay more attention. Definitely, that's number one. Pay more attention to who I'm dealing with. Also, you know, hmm,
It doesn't
it's on
sound
the top
like.
of my head. It's some stuff that I know I would change, but it's just not coming to my head right now. It's just everything is a little bit jumbled right now. When you take me back there, it just kind of just aggravates my soul.
Don't let me aggravate.
So I'm not gonna even.
Yeah,
It
don't let
does.
me
It really
aggravate you.
does.
Take a deep breath. In
But
your nose, out your mouth, real slow. Command your spirit, control your spirit. How have you changed from the person that was in that marriage, or are you still the same? I mean, do you feel like there was no need for you to change other than being more skeptical about the individual that you marry? You
oh, I
know,
definitely did. I definitely did change.
all right, let me tell you why I'm asking this question. All today, and I just got finished acknowledging the women a little earlier about how the majority of them have come up and was accountable for their actions during their relationships that all dwindled away. The majority of them spoke up in how they did this, and this is what they would have done different. They would do this different, do that different to avoid that type of situation. So the same question is coming to you. What type of things would you do differently? Given another opportunity to have the man that I just heard you speak about, what would you do differently in that marriage that you didn't do in your previous marriage? How would you change things? How have you changed within yourself? What have you learned? Is your mic working, sis?
It is. I'm just doing a whole lot of thinking right now. And I'm being totally honest with you. It's not I know that I have changed as a person, but I'm not trying to figure out if I would have changed anything that I've done other than to walk the other direction when he was coming my way. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to bring up a lot of events, and a lot of them I would have done it the same way because a lot of that stuff was a lot of attacks against me. A lot of the stuff I didn't start. The only and now, like I said, if somebody put their hands on me, they gonna get these hands back. So I can't say I would change that.
So if somebody put their hands on you, they're gonna get those hands back.
Yes.
Well, that's something that you should change.
Mm-mm.
That could cause you to lose your life. If anything, once you get free from him putting his hands on you, just don't look back again.
Yeah.
But actually stand there and become masculine and try to fight a man, you'll lose almost every time. So there's no reason because that loss may be the loss of your life.
And that's true.
So it would be wise to say, if I was attacked again, once that was over, I would run for my life. And I can respect that more than a woman that's going to stand there and fight against a man as if she really thinks she can win against a man. No matter, even if you're a boxer, still you don't do that. Men are extremely strong. One hit from a man could fracture the whole face, could paralyze you for life. It could take your life. So you don't want to be involved in that. You want to avoid that at all costs. Even if you got the upper hand, you want to stay away from that situation. So I would
I'm
hope.
not there.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not even there yet.
You're not there yet.
Mm-mm.
Are you looking for a husband?
I am,
Then
but
what?
definitely one who won't put his hands on me if he
But how
doesn't
do you
like it.
know that? You don't know if the man will put his hands on you until he's tested to see if he would. How
And
would
I
you know that?
I listened to your I was listening while I was doing some other things, like you said before. You have to put some people through some tests to see what, or what they would do in certain situations, see if they're violent, see how they're, how angry they get, see what they would do in different situations. So you're right. It's sad that we even have to do things like that just to test people out to see how they will be in certain situations. But this is the world we're living in, and I guess that's what we're gonna have to do. What we want to do to see if that person is a match for us. But yeah, that's the only thing that I can do.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I'm not gonna even lie about it. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to lie about it, sis. But as long as that's the goal, as long as that's the desired goal that you're trying to reach toward, tell me a little bit about how you've changed in your femininity versus when you were in your masculinity. Tell us a little bit about that. Can you express any of that? Can you think of any of that offhand?
The- Uh, like I was saying before, and me and my mom was talking about it the other day. It's like now that I am existing in my femininity, it's even more difficult to find or to wait for a husband, because a lot of these, living in the United States of America is tough. A lot of people, you know, they want to be the one taken care of. They want to be the one that say, okay, they're the prize. They want to be the one that is, you know, it's like the roles have definitely reversed. So now that I am operating in that state, that okay, I I know what I bring to the table as a woman. I know that I can pay all my bills. I've been doing that for years. I know that I can, I've been always the head of household in my single years, or you know but now that I'm like, okay, now I'm looking for a man to take that role. Not really, like I said, I understand that head of household. I'm still going to be head of household, but he's going to be head of me. Now I'm looking for a man to do that. A lot of them can't even lead their way. They can't even lead the way. So I'm not really, a lot of these men are actually operating a lot of feminine energy now. So it's like, if you make me have to be masculine, I don't even want it, because now that I want to operate in my feminine energy, I'm not getting I'm not attracting the man that I want. But when I was living in masculine energy, I was attracting all of these men. They wanted to be the one, oh, okay, I come in here, or they move into the house, but I'm the one taking care of mostly, the things that I feel a man should be taking care of. So it's tough.
Let me ask you a question. How do you prepare yourself for your future husband? What do you do to prepare yourself for your future husband? Now, I don't know if you were in our class last week or the week before, but last week's class was about preparing your mind to envision and see what it is that you desire and begin to live it as if you already have it. How do you prepare yourself for your future husband, the one you desire?
Right now, the first thing I'm practicing is patience and being calm. Because I'm not gonna lie, the fire in me, because I do get, a lot of things have happened to me over the years that have tested my patience. And I know my temper, I can rise to the top. So those are things that I just learned to not let things bother me. So I've been working on my adjusting my attitude, you know, receiving whether it's, you know, positive or negative criticism. I'm just working on myself and being able to look at everything in a positive outlook. So right now I'm just working on just being calm, being a little, being more feminine, definitely living more in feminine energy right now, and just, you know, taking life easy right now.
Let's
Just,
talk about this for a second.
hmm
Do you wear skirts? Do you wear dresses?
I do.
Okay. So that's a part of your feminine energy, is that right?
hmm
You keep yourself dialed up as a female?
I do.
Okay. For the audience, how much would you think that you weigh? How heavy are you?
I am 168.
And how tall are you?
I am 5'7", 5'8".
So you're in pretty good shape then, right?
Yes.
So you're not an overweight sister, trying to lose weight and fighting with that while you're trying to find a man. Is that right?
No. Oh, that's never been an issue.
Okay. Because there's going to be a lot of people who hear this and may contact me, say, "Hey, Prince, how can I talk to that sister?" And of course, Prince going to give them running through the third degree to make sure that they even acceptable to be able to approach you. But if that comes about, see, because we believe in, there's a lot of people who are made for a lot of people. And sometimes it just needs the right connection to put you in touch with the right person that could stand up and be that man or that woman to complete your life. We understand that. And you never know what may be the results of this conversation. And I say
Right.
the same thing for the other sisters who are in the audience. That's why we have this platform, so you can come up and express yourself. You can help others to avoid the problems that you had. But somebody might be listening and say, "Hey, I like her spirit. I like to try to vibe with her. How can I make this happen?" And we put them in touch with you. Or with your permission, we'll put them in touch with you or see how things go. But what I'm asking is, because people don't have the opportunity to ask these questions now, and this is where I want to come from. Most women are not accountable. They don't hold themselves accountable for the things that they've done, the troubles that they have brought about, the situations and issues that was a direct reasoning in why things happened to them in their lives. Most people always play the victim. Is that your situation? Do you feel that about yourself? Well, I guess I could say that, and of course your answer is going to be no. But how do you feel? Where do you fit at in the equation of your failed marriage? How do you fit in with that?
Okay, so I do hold myself accountable because one thing about it is a person, you know, when people enter your life, people are only going to do what you allow them to do. So I was the one that accepted this person into my life knowing that you know, they weren't the person for me. Also, you know, like I said, I had a temper on me at the time. So it would be, even if he said something to me or I said something to him, it was the backlash and all of that stuff, you know. I would say all of it was unnecessary, but you know, it was more of like I'm trying to hurt you more than you trying to hurt me. So it was always a lot of back and forth. That kind of stuff could have probably, it wouldn't been prevented, but I could have just be quiet instead of always trying to just, oh, okay, get the upper hand in the argument or whatever it was. Also, like you said, the fighting part, I could have just walked away, but it was the second time. It was the first time I accepted it. I end up was the one apologizing for what he started. But then the second time when it happened, I was like, oh no. Like now I know it's a habit and it was something that he's not gonna stop because you know they always say, okay, I'm not gonna do this again, but then it happens again and that's when I walked away. So Like I said, I
You
was the one who entered the. I would say I accepted a lot of things that weren't supposed to be. I could have, like I said, I could have maybe handled the situation better. But a lot of the things I would say, I was just always a I was always a combative person. Like you come for me, I'm gonna come for you too. So that's a part of myself that I've been working on myself, and I would have to say that that's something I came a long way with. That I've just learned to just okay, just let things ride. It's hard, but I noticed that it is the best way to do things because now I'm gonna just have a much calmer spirit. My blood pressure don't rise as much. I can tell you that. Um,
good.
I'm definitely, I'm less stressed when I just let things just go. Sometimes I think about like, it's even tough because I'm like, oh, this person is getting the upper hand on me. But physically, I do feel better because I'm not as angry. I'm not as, you know, stressed out about it when I actually do combat the situation.
Hmm. All right. Well, may the Most High be praised. I do thank you for your honesty and your answers that you have brought to the questions. Did anyone have any questions for the sister?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to say, told our sis for coming on. And I just wanted to just say, because even Sister Aisha brought it up, a lot of just what she was saying and, being in her honesty at this point, a lot of what she has gone through has been traumatic. And a lot of times when you are in traumatic relationships and go through them, and then you're still being dragged through it because of either custody battles or divorce battle, whatever, it can cause you to really have a lot of anger and pain, and it's a lot to kind of like open up and talk about. So I definitely commend you, sis, for doing that, because the trauma of a relationship to that degree can really, I think I put it in the chat earlier, it can cause physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, and financial um problems with a person. Like, I've seen many women who have been in those situations and physically can't get up because they're so broken, not by him, but just by the whole process of what happened. Because when you go into a lot of these relationships, like you said earlier, we were talking earlier, you go in with the prospect of this is going to work. I'm building a family with this person. We're going to do this. You don't go into a process of, oh, yeah, this may work for 2 years and then he'll go crazy on me. I'll be battling for my children, all this stuff. Um,
The
and
reality, right?
Right, because that's not what they show you. So when you go through it, it is traumatic to you as a person, especially if you're a person who's never even witnessed anything like that, who's never been through it. So, I definitely commend our sister for coming on and speaking on it. And I can tell, like, she's still going through it. Obviously, we know her on some other levels, but being able to come on and talk about it is a very good thing of the beginning of healing, because that's the basis of getting through a lot of this is talking and hearing ways to work through it, you know and to build yourself back up from it, because a lot of those times for men and women, because even listening to Benazante's story, those things are so toxic, it can break you down as a person, and it takes a lot to build yourself back up from that. So I think, with us having all these conversations, it's definitely opening up for us to be able to even walk into a process of helping people to rebuild, because it's not easy. And when you're going into a new marriage, even my sister underneath the crown put it in, you got to have healing, because you don't want to take a lot of that brokenness into a new relationship and put that pain or that responsibility on your new husband or wife, because they don't know what to do with that. They didn't give it to you, and they don't want to, and I wouldn't want to take it from somebody, nor should you want to give it to a person So, before even going into it, thinking about a new relationship, healing is prevalent in these situations, because otherwise, and just being honest, you may just have another broken relationship because that person may leave because they just can't handle the pain that you brought with you, um, because you haven't healed from it at all.
Very good, wise words. May the Most High be praised. You want to go down the list and visit some of the comments?
Okay, sure.
Did anyone else wish to say anything? Sister Sharon, I see you still here. Would you like to speak, sis? She may have stepped away for a moment. All right.
Um, Sister Sadia said, Cain, I did not court properly either. I assumed that because he identified as an Israelite, he would be in alignment in the Most High's law.
Hmm. There's
And
a
that's
lot of sisters on this very call that would stand up behind you and say the exact same thing.
Cain.
That because
Yep.
that brother said he aligned himself with the nation of Israel, we believe that
Mhm.
he was going to work out fine. But
Yep.
it doesn't always work that way.
Yep.
Doesn't always work. The same thing, vice versa. We go into a lot of relationships as men, and we think because this woman is in the walk that she understands what's needed and necessary, and they don't. A lot of them you got to teach, but along the way they rebellious and they don't want to learn. They're so stuck in doing things the way that they've been doing it for so long that it's difficult to teach them.
All right. This Sister TT says, after marriage, I found out how he borrowed from loan sharks. Had a woman come to his job to serve him court papers, and made his mom pay his way, had severe problems paying rent, etc. on time.
Yeah, that was a male.
Yeah. Sister Aisha says, I think it is good to choose someone who don't. So wait, I think she rewrote it. I think it's good to choose sometimes us women stay because of the circumstances and a mindset of fear. It's good to choose instead of just go with the flow.
It's good to choose instead of go with the flow. Very good advice, sis.
Um, and then Sister Saadia said, our abandoning of the Most High as a
That's
nation.
Sadia, that's Yisrael. Is that
Oh,
her?
sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah. Israel says, our abandoning Yahweh as a nation has led to many of us being raised by broken people that lead us to being attracted to broken people. We need to truly heal, return to the Creator before any new relationships of any kind.
That's called social heredity. And you're very right, Yisrael. Social heredity. We learned that lesson last week.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely on point.
Uh, Zaquina Sukari says, when I was very young, I came home early one day early. I heard sounds from my room. Mother and father enjoying each other. Did sound like fun, sounded painful. Tried to help, found out I was wrong. She said, I was embarrassed and totally in shock. Never wanted to have an experience like that. Didn't think that was for me. It took a very long time for me to understand it wasn't a painful act.
Mm. May the
Yeah.
Most High be praised. I got to take my hat off and commend you all for speaking as honest as you're speaking. Only two men spoke today, me and one other one. And that's it. And I know there's a lot of men in the audience today, but they're not sharing their stories. They're not helping others to heal or others to learn in how we can prevent these situations. And that's not good because that's who we are. We're helpers of each other. We supposed to speak out on these situations so we can help others to avoid them. See, nobody gave us the education. We learned the hard way. But by us learning the hard way, some of us, we had to learn 3 or 4 times before we realized to take the matter to the Almighty and let the Most High make the decision for us. But although it took us the hard way and the long way, conversations like this can help others to prevent the mistakes that we've made. It can encourage people to move the right way, to make the right decision the first time around. We probably still got a whole lot of women that's still in their purities here. And they don't want to lose their purity to a bum because they don't know how to choose a mate. Their moms don't know how to choose a mate. Their fathers don't know how to choose a mate. Their mothers and fathers might not be active in their lives to the level that they need to be. Therefore, they need to learn from someone. And it's places like this that will help them to learn. Sit downs like this that they can hear, and they can gather a way and a resource of finding somebody that will be as perfect as possible for them as a mate. We're giving them all the warning signs. We're telling them what we did wrong, what we should have looked for, how we should have made it better, the mistakes that we made in the past, and how we wish that they wouldn't make the same mistakes. These are the types of things that we're discussing today. Are there any more comments?
Mm-hmm. Sister Shavanya says, "Are you looking for other wives, Murray?"
Am I looking for? You know what? The funny thing is, I ain't gotta look because my Nashim is looking for him for me. Look at the one with the green, yeah, that one covering her face. They look for him for me. I ain't gotta look. They all over the place looking for him. They're gonna bring me the applications and say, hey, what you think about that one? But it's hard. You don't want to be married to me. It's hard to be married to me because I demand a whole lot. I'm a man and I demand a whole lot. And at this stage of my life, at 39 and 3/4 years old right now, say that, with a smile. In my opinion, the type of things that I need, most women can't provide. Most women are not willing to provide. Yeah. Most women are not willing to provide, but I know who I am. I know what I demand. I know what I need, and I know the type of woman that I need. So, a lot of them will fail the application process. A lot of them get right off from the beginning of the circle. Hey, Prince. Nope, but bang. It'll be hung up because I know me. So, but I ain't supposed to talk like this. She said, ain't she on the platform somewhere? Foreign Crown, ain't she on the platform?
Her phone, she had to go off.
Yeah, she sure asking a lot of questions from the sideline. All right, anything else?
Yes. Sister TT said the Most High revealed to her, I was operating in masculine energy by being the leader and provider. When I realized that I asked my ex to lead and continue to help pay 50-50 is when he became volatile.
Stop right there.
Okay.
Sister TT, part of that problem is yours. You should never ask a man to pay 50-50. Because men don't pay 50-50. Men pay 100. Boys and males go 50-50 with a woman. So I'm going to tell you this. If any of y'all within the sound of my voice, you giving yourself to a man and you're doing your very best to provide for that man, and that man is saying, let's go 50-50, then you need to run. You need to get out of that relationship and you need to run down the street, under the block, around the corner, under the curb, and get away from him as soon as possible. Men don't go 50-50 with his women. Men provide for their household. If a man got to go get 2 jobs to provide for his household so his woman can sit home and take care of everything, and as long as she's doing her job at home to make him happy, he'll go get 2 or 3 jobs if he have to make sure that things are operating properly for that family. If the woman deserves it. But if she doesn't deserve it, then yeah, you go out and go to work, go do your thing, go slave for the European, put your life in danger, go leave the house and go do your thing. But real men don't move like that. They're males and those are boys that want women to take care of them or to go 50-50 on everything that we do. That's not how men operate. So if you got somebody talking like that, run. Sister Shivani say, I'll run the whole house and the land. Ima. Oh, did Autumn hear that? She said she'll run it all. Oh, y'all, she gonna get y'all a run for y'all money. Go ahead, Sister Shivani.
All right. Sister Saadia says, the Creator revealed that I had epigenerational curses, and societal hereditary issues that needed to be addressed. Also, I had to learn to listen, be obedient to the Creator, as well as learn to forgive. The Most High revealed so much, and with each thing, I've been self evaluating and self assessing, healing to prevent any reoccurrence. All praises to the Creator, the Most High.
May the Most High be praised. That's very good and very open and honest. I like the fact that people just admit that they got issues, that things are not so right with them that they needed to focus on. How the Most High revealed this and Most High revealed that, and now I'm working on fixing it, making it better. That's so important for our future generations to come. I know that now. Go ahead. TT says something.
TT says, I know that now, Hanasi. I had no idea it was wrong. All the women in my family did as I did.
May the Most High be praised. Now, Sister Sharon asks Sister Shavanya a very good question. Can you bring that up, please?
Sharon says, Koti Shavanya, may I ask freely, sis, are you completely done with poly marriages?
And what Sister Shavanya say? She smiled.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I did see her comment. She could run the whole house and the land. It's nice to make a comment like that. But I advise no one to make comments like that until you actually live in a situation, because it's a challenge that everybody's not built for.
Well, I tell you what.
Everybody's welcome to come and visit the land.
If she believes it, she can do it. Whatever you believe in your heart, you set it in the forefront of your mind, you can do it. Go ahead, sis. Put it out there. Let them know. If you believe it, you can do it. All right, family. Any other questions or comments?
You just your instigator.
Hi, may I speak? This is Shacy.
Yes, you have the floor, sis.
I was listening to you the other weekend. I'm listening to you today when you say run from these men who are not 100, who won't put in 100, when it comes to providing or, for the household or whatever it is. But honestly, it's I believe in it. However, you're going to leave a whole lot of us out here single.
No, that's why
and I'm just saying, like, I already, because I've been single for like 6-7 years, because I refuse to go back into a relationship 50-50 or fully supporting anybody. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I'm out here, like I said, I'm waiting, but all I'm meeting is, even when it comes down to dudes who are doing kind of well for themselves, pretty well for themselves, they're doing whatever. They feel like, okay, I work so hard for my money, so therefore I'm not going to be doing everything my wife or my girlfriend needs to be putting in her share too. So I'm like, okay, well, thank you for your time. Goodbye. But that has left me alone for years. So I'm just trying to figure out, where are those men at? Because I'm not meeting them.
Okay. Let's talk about that for a second. They're here. They exist. There's not a thing. There's not a shortage on them either. They do exist. They're rare. They're rare. And that's why the man's the prize. The man is the prize, not the male, not the boy, but the man. And the man is the prize because the man will have his wife home taking care of business as long as she's good to him, as long as she's fulfilling her role, her duties, her responsibility as his wife. Then he'll do what he has to do to provide for her. But what's happening is, you just mentioned that you meet men or males or whatever they are at that time, and you're having a hard time finding someone who will give 100% of their finances to help, not even 100% of their finances, but they will meet 100% of the financial responsibility. You don't start off any relationship in that manner because you're just meeting that individual. People have to earn the right to enjoy that luxury in your life. In the life of a real man, you have to earn that right, which means you have to prove and show that you're there for the long haul, that you're going to be productive, that you're going to be a asset to the relationship. And if you're not proving that in the beginning, why would he even, a wise man, why would he even accept you or court you in any type of way? He would be a fool to do such a thing. Because a lot of people, when as soon as they hear you got a little bit of wealth or a little bit of change and you're able to do, oh, they become the best that they can possibly be till they get in. And once they get in, all hell break loose. You can't tell them nothing. You can't show them. You got to divorce them. There is no other opportunity. You just got to let them go. So why take yourself down that road? You would give the woman the impression that we're going 50-50 on this. You will give her that impression until she and proves her way. Once she shows and proves her worth, her value, because you marry a woman for purpose. You bring a woman into your life for purpose. And once she shows that she fulfills that purpose in your life, then you go out and do your thing with her. She don't have to go to work nowhere unless she wants to work. If she doesn't want to work, she can sit back and take care of the household, take care of the family. But if you just meeting her and she hasn't shown you and proven to you to your satisfactory that she's worthy of that, then you don't give it to her. Only a fool would give you something like that from the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Big question about that one. Okay, so is it like possible that they could be lying from the jump that they're not that 50-50 guy? Because a lot of these men, they're adamant about it, like, oh, okay. Because sometimes we just have discussions, we're dating or doing whatever it is, say dating for a couple months, whatever it is. I'm doing my part, of course, this and that. But when I'm seeing that, okay, I can see that this person is not the provider type, or they're the thing is, I have great intuition and I can read people. So I'm very good at that. So it's like, okay, I can tell when that person is not going to be that guy. So that's what I'm trying to talk about, because it's not like I'm going into like, okay, I'm demanding this and I'm demanding that you got to do this for me, because I'm doing my part. And when I leave these people, they're the ones ringing out my phone because they know that I'm a good person. A lot of people have not met people because I already know what I come to the table. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm a gem. I'm very caring. Look out for people. Definitely look out for your best interest. I'm the type of person, I look out for your best interest before I even look out for mine. And I feel like that's why I get screwed over a lot, because a lot of people are out for self, and I usually am the type of person that look out for you before I look out for myself. And I feel like a lot of people take advantage of that. And when I see that it's not being reciprocated, that's when I jump ship.
Okay, let me say something to you.
So,
I don't know, and I'm not saying that this is your case, because I really don't know. But if you're having sex with these men while you're getting to learn them, that's part of the problem right there. No sex should be going on between you and a man that you're trying to get to know. You save that for your husband. When he put a ring on it, when he says, I do, then you say, I'm going all the way. The woman's value is what she brings in the life of the man. And you seem to be a very intelligent woman. You don't have to win a man by giving him your jewels up front in the door. You can keep that to yourself because your mind is sharp. I've spoken with you. I hear you speaking. Your mind is sharp. You have a lot more to offer to a man other than just your physical body, your physical attraction. So in my opinion, no sex, celibacy until you find a husband. I wouldn't deal with nobody sexually. No hand jobs, no blow jobs, no nothing. No sex. Complete abstinence until that day when you're confident that you're ready to marry this man and y'all get married and your mama approves of it, Ima approves of it, or your spiritual leader approves of it, however it goes. Then you break out the jewels and you give him that special gift. Because if you're courting a man along the way and you're still giving him sexual favors, you're giving him wifely service. Because a man should only be intimate with a woman that is his wife. A man should not be intimate with any woman that doesn't belong to him. And a woman should only be intimate with a man that is her husband. A man that is, he got to first be a man, and then he got to be your husband in order for you to be intimate with him in any way. He shouldn't see you naked. He shouldn't see your body. He shouldn't even see your feet until after he's put a ring on your finger and he married you. Now, you might call me, a lot of people might call me old-fashioned, but that's the problem while we're in the condition that we're in today, because we're too willing and too able and ready to lead with all the wrong things. So take sex completely off the equation, off the table. Sit down and have conversations with this gentleman, maybe a half hour at a time, an hour at the most. You don't want to talk too much, because you talk too much, you're going to put your foot in your mouth. A half hour, 45 minutes to an hour at the most. Have these conversations, talk with him. Get inside his mind, let him inside your mind. See what y'all can work at in each other's life. Find out what his mission is for life and how you can fit into his plan. Don't try to make him fit in your plan, because that ain't the way it goes. See if you can fit in his plan, how you can come around and help to fulfill his visions, his dreams, his desires, his understandings. Because if he doesn't have any, then you got to run. He's not worthy of you. Because you are a woman, but you're a very intelligent woman. You will be an asset to any man's life that you go into, but you got to know you. You got to know you got to know your strength, and you got to know how to do what you got to do. And right now you don't know those things. And that's why we're sitting here saying, I want this, but I can't get it. Last week's class would tell you how to get it. This week's class is going to teach you how to keep it. Because once you get it, it's just like getting an expensive car. I remember when I was in my 20s, I wanted this car. It was a Mercedes-Benz. It was a GL 450. What was it? A CL 500, CL 450, CL 500. It was the coupe. It was black. And I was like in my early 30s, man, it could tell me nothing. I wanted that car. So I had a mentor, and I went and talked to him. I said, hey, Dr. Williams, what do you think, man? This car going to cost me $1,100 a month. You think I should get it? You know what he told me? He said, if that's your desire, go ahead and treat yourself and go ahead and get it. And I went and bought the car, and I wish I hadn't have brought it. A lot of people, they go out and get things, but they can't afford it. I could afford it at the time. I could afford it, but I had other things in life that I should have been putting my money into. You follow me? A lot of people go out and get something, they can't afford it. Therefore, they lose it. Same thing with relationships. A lot of us, we jump into these relationships, but because we can fake it, to act like we are a good wife, a good husband. We can fake it in the beginning, and then along the way, when all those demands start coming, and you see the reality of the life that individual is living, this man is disciplined. This man fasts one day a week, definitely. This man fasts for a whole year where he would only eat this. The man only eat that for another year. This man don't drink no water. He eat all fruit. This man is unbelievable. He prayed 3-4 times a day, nonstop, non-ceasing. There are certain days throughout the week you can't touch him because he ain't having intimate relations because he's fasting. The man is difficult. He want it done his way when he say how he want it done, and that's the way it's going to be. That's how he is. But that same man would make your life so that you can have the freedom to do whatever you chose to do in your life. Is that a fair exchange? Is that a fair exchange? Because that's how real men operate. As long as you make their home peaceful, they can come back to you and lay in your arms and go to sleep in your arms. Ask yourself, when the last time your man fell asleep in your arms? For y'all who have a husband, when's the last time he laid his head back on your shoulder and fell asleep? If your man hasn't done that, something wrong in your marriage. When's the last time your man has come home and y'all didn't have a quarrel, a disagreement, a fight, an argument? You know, if that hasn't happened, then something is wrong with your marriage. But I would advise you to hurry up and get to it and fix it so the marriage is not destroyed. Because a lot of us don't know how to maintain a marriage. We know how to get married, but we don't know how to keep it. And I'm saying this on the women's side and on the men's side. A lot of men, a lot of males, a lot of males, a lot of males, a lot of boys don't know how to maintain a marriage, don't know how to keep it. Neither do they want to keep it. A lot of them want to get married just so they can make whoopee and have sex freely under the law. They're not really about keeping a wife. So we gotta really think, family. How have you prepared yourself to be married to a man or a woman? What have you done to make the adjustments? You know, you could be a woman who's never been married, who's had 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 boyfriends in the past, 2 children, right? 2 children, 20 boyfriends, then had sex with any one of them. And now you get to the age where you're 31, 32 years old, and now you want to settle down. But you have to ask yourself, am I able to get rid of, in my mind, all of those habits that I picked up from all those men that I had in the past life, the past relationships? Am I able to separate myself from all of that and remake myself into a new, better woman? Because that's what's needed and necessary in order for you to flourish in a new life with a new individual. Now, I ain't talking about just a male, because with a male, you can wing it with a male, and he'll be happy. But with a man is going to have demands on your life. He's going to demand that you ain't overweight, that you ain't fat. You might not want to get yourself in shape. Then you don't need to be with a man, because a man is not going to want you to be overweight and unhealthy, because that could cause you to lose your life, create all type of sicknesses all up in your body, which going to cause him to have to take time off of his work, off of his schedule, to sit home with you. So to prevent all that, he just wants you to be in shape, be in good shape, decent shape. He might not make you work out, but he going to take you out so that you can do some workout. He going to tell you to stop eating certain things. Certain things won't be lawful. But are you willing to listen to your man? Or are you still going to argue with him? Yeah, but my mama told me. I talked to my girlfriend. The internet said. But the internet said. Who wants to hear that when you're dealing with a man? So you know what that man going to take? All right, go ahead, do what you want to do. And when they F up all in your face, you won't come back to him saying, I tried that, and this is working, this is not working, and this is the problem, and this is the situation. He gonna say, but I told you not to do it in the first place. You gotta have the mindset where you trust your man with the things that you say for him, that he says for you to do, that you're willing to do them. And if what he tells you to do doesn't work, then y'all go to the next thing, and then the next thing. But you always under his leadership. You always under his authority, his command to do what we need to do. So a lot of women are saying right now, Prince, that's too demanding. I have my own mind. I want to tell myself what to do. Then that's part of the reason why you're single. Or if you ain't single, that's part of the reason why you're going to be single. Because men don't operate like that. And if you're not single, you're messing with a boy or a male. See, a male will let you do those things like the sister said earlier. He was trying to go 50-50. He wouldn't have no problem going 50-50. The one sister said he didn't even want to do 50-50. So that's what's happening with males and boys. That's what they do. But with a real man, there is no 50-50. I got a wife, she right here on this line right now. She on this line. She worked for 2 years. Ask her what she did with her check and see if I'm lying about how men move. She on the line. She hear what I'm saying. She worked for like 2 years. Ask her what she did with her check, and she'll tell you. Men don't move like boys. And I'm not saying that because I'm any different. Well, I ain't gonna say I ain't different. I would be lying if I said I would be lying to you if I'd have said I didn't think I was different than most. So I can't say that. But there's a lot of people out here who move with the proper spirit, who move with the right energy to help individuals to elevate and to grow. And a wife has to come into a relationship with purpose. She has to know what her purpose is. She has to fulfill her purpose to her husband's pleasure, not to her own pleasure. That's a problem that a lot of modern day females have. They think the pleasure is theirs, but it's not. It's about what pleases him. What the law says when the Most High says that you can give her a bill of divorce in Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter. Iman, can you pull it up for me, please? Deuteronomy 24:1. Let's see what the law says. Who gets the pleasure?
It says, when a man, Deuteronomy 24:1, when a man had taken a wife and married her, and it comes to pass that she find no favor in his eyes.
So she finds no what? Favor in his eyes. She's not pleasing him. She's not pleasurable to him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Then this man is commanded, he ain't commanded, he's allowed to give her a bill of divorce if he chooses. Either he can go on, keep on living that life where he's unpleased, or he can give her a bill of divorce. And what I would suggest is, if you're not pleasing your man, and he's giving you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to become pleasurable to him, and you're still not doing it, you should thank the Creator every day that he doesn't give you a bill of divorce. You should be on your knees saying, thank you, Abby, for allowing me to still be in this man's life, because he's a man and he handles his business. There's a difference. But in you in the life of a boy or a male, you're going to have to work like a slave. You're going to be treated bad, not always, but most of the time you're treated badly, or you'll be unsupervised as a man should with his family. Things are just going to happen and go and take on in life. Problems are going to occur. Divorce is going to ensue, and you're going to be back in the single line all over again. And let me tell you something, sisters, and I know a lot of sisters saying, I like a man that let me do my thing. That ain't going to last for long, because every woman wants a strong man. Every woman wants a leader in her life. Every woman. So if your man is allowing you to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, he's no challenge. And women need challenge in their life. Women need something to look to, something to look at. And if you're not receiving that in marriage, you're not going to be happy. It's just your nature. You're not going to want to remain in that marriage for any significant amount of time if it's not nurturing to your soul. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute. I want to see if any of my sisters that's on the platform, Ima, Casey, Sister Sharon, if any of y'all want to speak, please do so.
Hey, shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
So I just want to add to my advice when getting into a courtship or when obtaining a marriage. I know I said courting is very important. Also, I just want to quickly place this down here as well. Knowing who you're marrying and their family background and their family history. It's very important to marry into a great, not a good, but a great family. Speaking from my personal experience and my personal perspective, I think that is usually overlooked. A lot of people overlook it, or a lot of people don't gauge it as if it's something serious. But I think that is one of the most, amongst other things, don't get me wrong, amongst other important things, that's one of the most important things that you can look for in a husband, is to study his family history, the background, and just knowing what type of family you are going to marry yourself into. That's all I had wanted to speak on.
That's so good. So very right. So very right. You got to know it. You got to know its history, where it come from. and all those things.
Kane, I definitely agree with what my sister Sharon just said. And I definitely love the fact that she emphasized great, because good is just mediocre. And if you want something great to come out of what you are in, then you have to join with something great. And I think a lot of times what happens is strong women, um, men are attracted to strong women. They're attracted to strong, beautiful women, and they attracted. And I won't just say men, males, whatever that opposite sex, right? They're attracted to us because of our ability to make like magic happen from nothing. Like you can make a man that has almost nothing. If you're a strong woman and you about your business, you can make him feel like a king. And a lot of times that attracts a man or a male to you. And because you're doing your job as that woman, you're being in your femininity, and doing the things to make sure he's, on point, making sure he looks good, making sure his clothes are ready, he got food when he go to work, making sure all these things are there. A lot of times you're busy focusing on your job that you get caught up in doing your job and his job because you're just tunnel vision, and you see like, okay, this is going to work. But I think what I've learned in that process, because I've been that woman before, is that when you do that and you lose yourself in doing that, because then that man starts to depend on you for so much more than just that. Because if they lose their job and you're that strong woman, you already have your foundation and your guardedness. So you already know what to go out there and do, and you keep working and you keep making sure the house is provided for and everything like that. And then that's when that masculinity comes upon you. Um, and I know for me, once all that started happening, I had to, it's like you don't realize it until sometimes it's too late. But once you realize it, you have to, figure out a way to draw the line to have that conversation. And if the man doesn't want to step it up, yeah, you have to, especially if you're in this way of life, you have to find some elders, some leadership to help you to either get released from that. Because if he's not going to change and become that man, then if you stay in that marriage, you're never going to be feminine in that marriage, not to the degree that you need to be anymore. You're going to be holding two positions in that marriage. And so you're never going to be balanced in who you are as a woman. And then it's like you're overworking yourself. You become everything to your children, and that man is just really like a stumbling block. So, we have to be, like you said, accountable. And I believe all of us have been accountable in talking tonight. Um, but I think, the most important thing I think that should come out of this at this point is that all of us who have been in those relationships and have stepped away or have gotten out of them, we need to do our best to heal, to go to the Creator first and foremost, and to ask Him to help us to heal, to help us to release a lot of the pain that we carry daily, a lot of the anger, the hurt, the resentment, the shame of all of this, because that's all the things that come with that. Release it to the best of your ability with the Most High's guidance. Because if we're walking around saying, "Oh, I could fix it myself," it's not fixable yourself because you didn't do it to yourself in 100%. You did it with somebody else, and you can't fix it with that person. So the next big thing is to go to the Creator and get guidance with that, and then and then now seek with your spirit. Like don't just look at a man and be like, oh, he's fine. Oh, he drives a $100,000, $200,000 car. Oh, his women look all well kept. But you need to really look at the spirit of that man, because even though all of that may be present, can you truly deal with that man in the essence of who he is? And that's what we got to look at, the essence of the person, not the physical, because of course the physical is always going to be attractive if that's what we're attracted to. But is the essence of who that man is going to keep you attracted to him? Or you're gonna get in there and, you know, play the role for a little bit and then fall to pieces because you can't, you're not ready to be upheld to the essence of what that man desires for you to be. Um, yeah, I just, you know, I just think it's a lot to, there's a whole lot we talked about. I'm sure there's always more to talk about, but I think the biggest thing is truly taking the time to get to know yourself as a woman. Um, and if you've gone into these relationships and they have failed, don't rush into another relationship. You know, I've done it. It doesn't work. It doesn't feel good. Your children suffer from when you make those decisions. And they suffer more than you do, whether you believe it or not. Um, and sometimes it's something that can destroy your relationship with your children. So, you know, as a woman, this is my advice to women because I can't, you know, tell a man how to do that. But as a woman, you know, be mindful of all those choices. Be mindful of that choice because you don't want to ruin your children. You don't want to ruin your daughters and their outlook on what marriage is. You don't want to ruin your sons. And then they're just walking around here because they've had bad examples of men, so they're out here abusing and misusing women and mistreating them. So, you know, and so, and if you have been in those relationships, one thing I've done when I came out of those relationships, I sat down with my children and I apologized to them. I talked to them. We talked a lot about what they experienced, what was good, what was bad, um, and what our expectations are, you know, as a family, and what we need to do spiritually to heal from it, together and separately. So that's my words.
Very good. May the Most High be praised. The only thing I didn't hear you jump on a little bit
Hmm.
was a woman being able to, in her femininity, to know her power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the Almighty is our true power, the absolute power of all creation. So when I say a woman to know her power, she has to know what she's able to do with the man that she has.
Came.
He's capable of, what his weaknesses are, what his strengths are. And when
Hmm.
she finds his strengths, she is to nurture him in those strengths so that he could be even stronger. See, that's her
Absolutely.
job. That's that purpose that she has in his life. You
Came.
know, I heard you speak about a man that wasn't working and wasn't take care of his family. It's got to be some good quality about him. That's why you picked him. Whoever it
Hmm.
was, that's why you picked him. So now, if you were to know your strength as a woman, and you can capitalize on his strength and make him even better, then you wasn't just an asset to him, you were an asset to you and the lives of your children that was along in that marriage. A lot of women give up too soon, too fast. And I'm suggesting that you don't. Learn your man.
Hmm.
Learn how he thinks, what he expects, how he operates, how determined he is, how diligently he is, especially if you got a spiritual man. If you got a spiritual man, you have to learn his do's and don'ts, his ins and outs, his wills and won'ts. You have to learn all those things. And
Hmm.
then when you find those things and you see him getting weak and wherever he's weak at, you got to help him to build it up so that his strengths are built up
Yeah.
so that he can be as strong as possible. Let's say, for example, if he's a guy, he's late for work almost 2, 3 times a week. He likes to sleep a little late. Then what you do is you get him up a little bit early, entice him. You might want to get a little freaky with him just to get him up, wake him up, you know, get a little freaky to wake him up before time, like a half hour ahead of time, so he gets up early enough to get to work. Learn your strengths. Learn your strengths, sis. You got to learn what it is. And then he will not be late for work because you're in control of what takes place.
Hmm.
A lot of people, you got to learn your strength. You know, you got to learn how to make your man be the best version of himself. Like I heard the sister say earlier, when that relationship ends, right? They got to still be wanting you. Hey,
Hmm.
they say, I'm sorry. I ain't talking about 1 or 2 calls. I'm talking about they bothering your phone, talking about let's go get married. Come on. Or let's get remarried. Come on. No, I'm sorry. We're going to do this thing right because they know what it is not to have that strength in their life. That's how you got to make them feel. You don't have to bring nothing physical to the table. You got all these degrees, a master's degree, a sociology, master in psychology, master in physics. You ain't got to have none of that. You can work at McDonald's. But if you got a mastery in wifedom, then you're going to get it. If you got a mastery in wifedom, you're going to get it. And you're going to be the best wife in the world. And your man is going to excel while you excel. Because wherever he goes, he's going to take the family. So it's a lot for us to learn. A lot for us to learn. Iman, you want to go down your list?
Yes, but can I say, I heard you just say too, a man, you got to want, but I mean, it's something like you said about the man calling you to want you back.
Yeah.
I think
Not just
that's,
twice.
I think that's very good because it happens. It happened to me, but I also, I think a woman should know though, if she decides to take that man back, then there has to be levels to why she's taking him back. Like, did he grow from whatever it was? Because a man can, like, I'm not gonna, uh, I don't walk around with a big head, toot my own horn, but almost every relationship that I've been in that I'm no longer in, the men have called to get me back over and over. And I had to decide on whether or not it was worth me going back into that marriage or relationship based on the signs of if they changed or not. And if they hadn't changed, I mean, I know you said don't give up easily, but I know for me, I didn't go back into it because I felt like there's no way a man changed in 2 months and or a month or a week and calling, begging. Because a lot of times what they miss is what you did for them. They didn't really change. They didn't really come and go to the creator and become better within a week or two or even 2 months. A lot of times, and I've been told, well, I miss what you did for me. Now I'm with this other woman. She's 20%, you was 80%. You know, that whole 80-20 rule that men like to throw out there, or males, whatever it is. And at that point, it's like, well, I know for me, I'm gonna speak for me. I made the decision based off of what I saw the change was versus them just calling me, begging me to come back. Because that makes you feel good, like, oh yeah, they still want me, blah blah. But what do they want me for? And what is going
You
to be
know what they want you for.
but
Well,
it
you
ain't
didn't
good for
question
me.
it.
But it's not good for
All
me.
right, then you did the right thing. Keep moving.
Right. So I know, but I heard what you just said. So that's why I wanted to say that part because
If a real man calls you back, you're going to break your neck to answer the phone. Ooh. Hello?
that's silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
A real man. I ain't talking about no boy.
Well, a real man, we wouldn't be at that point because he would have been a real man and she would have been a real woman. It wouldn't have been no breakup.
Yeah. Okay, that's all possible. Yeah, that's all possible. All right, Sister Casey, Sister Sharon, would you all like to comment?
No, I have no other words at this time. Just told everybody as usual for a nice Shabbat service and a nice panel discussion, and told out for inviting me per usual. Appreciate it.
Out of the bar, sis. You know I just put your father's picture up on my Facebook page, right? That's my man. Sister Sharon, did you know that?
Kane, Kane. No, I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, that's my man. That's
Told
my man.
everybody. So,
Out of the
Kane, we
bar.
was just talking about him not too long ago. Me and my yeah, he's truly missed.
Oh, he absolutely is. He absolutely is. He was a real asset down there, in the Israelite community at all. He
Kane.
was a he was a very powerful asset. He was a very unique one as well. That's right. Very unique. He set a lot of trends, did a lot of work, set a lot of precedences for a lot of people to follow. It's one of them elders.
Kane. All praises
Uh,
to everybody.
Sister Casey, would you like to say anything, sis? Would you like to mention anything? If you're speaking, I can't hear you. I think you got to unmute your phone. Okay. She might have stepped away for a moment. Go ahead, you got it.
Sister Lioness Fire asks, did you do a little research on if Job remarried? The thing is, Job and his wife both went through it because they were as one.
Sister Lioness, did Prince tell you he was going to look something up? If Prince tell you he going to look something up, he looks it up. Now, there's two schools of thought. One school of thought says we don't know because she's not mentioned after the 19th chapter. And he only mentions her as far as something that she liked. He doesn't mention her as being a living being. So we don't know if she died or not. And the other school of thought is that he had a whole new everything, brand new wife, brand new children. Everything that he had was increased. So it's really inconclusive because scripture doesn't say, and she lost her life, or she passed away. Scripture doesn't make that clear. So we really don't know if it was the same wife or a new wife. So there's no way to 100% say. So may the Most High be praised. And I guess you can pretty much, anyone can pretty much just take it in whatever way they choose to teach it, they can teach it, but it will all be your opinion. And that will be the end of the matter. Thank you, sis, and thanks for reminding me. But yes, that's the first thing I did right after we shut down. I sat down to my computer and I handled that. Okay, you entitled to your feelings. It's okay. Your emotions sometimes lead you in the right way. So keep on with your feelings, and but we don't know the answer, the correct answer. We don't know, but I can understand why you would say what you would say. All right. May the Most High be praised. Are there any other questions or comments, family? It is fastly approaching at a 7 o'clock hour. None of that means anything to me. I don't care about the hours. The only thing I care about is bringing satisfaction to the family. So it's fastly approaching that 7 o'clock hour. If you have any comments, please post it in the room and we'll address them. Anybody on the panel, if you wish to speak, now is the time. You can take yourself off mute and you can just go ahead and speak. No one? All right. Well, we're going to close it out now, family. We do what we do for the edification of our people, for the restoration of the nation of Israel. We marriages, we understand that marriages are 99% of the issues that we have in this nation, 99% of the problems. And if the marriages work great, other things can work great, and we can make things work for us as a people. All right, there's a question in the room.
Yes, Sister Lioness Fire says, how do you feel about divorce?
I frown upon divorce. I believe that divorce should be the last thing, except if it's completely not working, and if it's not going to work, and if you got two people that's repelling against each other, they don't want to work, then you got to give them what they're asking for. And the man is the only one that can give the divorce. The woman can't give a divorce. She can ask for it. She can either ask him or she can ask leadership. She can ask for a divorce, but she cannot issue a bill of divorce. All right, so I pray that answers your question. And if not, you can restate your question. Maybe I can answer it. Did I say something that you didn't know, sis? Yeah, I believe that a man should give a woman at least 3 opportunities to straighten herself up. Yes, most women are the lead to file for divorce in this country. But an Israelite man ain't got no business being married under this land, the law of this land, because the law of this land is not designed for us. An Israelite man should have an Israelite marriage with an Israelite marriage certificate. You can put this land on notice that you've gotten married, but everything you do should be legally through your spiritual leader, your community that you belong to, and the organization that you entrust your life to. Okay? So even though a woman, she can lead and filing for divorce, she can't get it unless it's granted to her. Therefore, a woman cannot divorce a man. She can't. She cannot physically do it on her own. Whereas the man, as we read earlier, Deuteronomy 24, he can just write her a bill of divorce and put it in her hand, send her out of his house, and they're divorced. But it doesn't go that way with a woman. But listen, family, y'all can ask any question in the world that you might have. Any question presented in a room. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I can't answer it, I'll do the research and look it up. Okay?
Hi, this question is coming from Shacey again.
Yes.
Okay. What attracted you to Princess Medaya? And did you know that she was going to be your wife from, first sight?
Nothing. I wasn't attracted to Princess Medaya at all. As she explained to you earlier, we were connected by a elder, my sister. And my sister said, I know exactly what you need, because I needed a woman in my life because I had 5 children that I was raising by myself. I divorced a mother. I told y'all about her earlier. I divorced a mother, and then I had 5 children that I was raising. We need a part 2 to this topic. All right. So now, my sister said, I got a young lady that I think will be perfect for you. I said, what? She gonna be perfect. Who? Who is this? Who is this? And I didn't even know that we was a part of the same community. So I came down, I met her, we talked, I checked her out. And then I came down and met her in person. She had all these children, and he was younger then. She had all these children. Her life wasn't the way that I would like for my wife's life to be. And I said, oh, Creator, I'm out of here. I ain't marrying her. I called her elder up. I told her elder, I said, no, man, I ain't marrying that chick, man. No, no. I said, I'll help her out, but I ain't going to marry her. And I walked away. And the Creator said, boy, what did I tell you? Get your nappy head over there and marry that girl like I told you. And I had to be obedient. I went and I married her. I went back down Georgia. I said, hey, remember me? She said, oh, where you been? I said, I'm here. And I'm ready to get married. We're going to work this out. We're going to talk, all right?
No, that's not what happened.
So, but no, I was telling the truth all the way up to after I said the Creator told me to marry her. That's why I married her, because the Creator told me to marry her. And she fit in my program. See, the Creator, he knows beyond any of us. We don't even know what the Most High has in store. Only He knew how perfectly she would fit in this circle, in this thing of life that we call life. Only the Most High knew how that was going to be. I couldn't see it because I'm looking with the wrong eyes. My mind was somewhere else, like a nigga off the street. I didn't appreciate the quality and the beauty that she had inside of her. I didn't appreciate that. I didn't see it. I was looking for somebody, oh man, I gotta do this, and then she got all these kids, and man, this, that, and I don't know, man. No, oh no. That's what I was thinking. Until the Creator talked to me. When the Creator talked to me, He opened my mind up. He opened up my eyes. And then I spent some time with her. And you know how when y'all first meet a guy, y'all really want to hook up with the guy, y'all be real nice and kind and gentle and smooth and all polite and respectful. And she was the truth. I couldn't argue with her, you know? And as time went on, we talked more and more, and we got married. And that's how the real story went. You want to tell your version? Was mine, yours is different from mine?
A little bit. So
your version.
You forgot the part where, so I didn't know when he came to visit, whatever. We both would. He brought his children down. I think the second time. I think It was 2 times he came down, but anyway. And Yeah. So the first, I think, when he said he wasn't going to court me, he didn't tell me that. Like, we had our conversations on the phone. And so my spiritual leader at the time, he wasn't my elder, came and told me. And I was like, what? Why is he telling you that and not me? Which I understood why he told him, but still, I expected from a man to come and talk to me about it. So I called him up and was like, so you told my spiritual leader you're not going to court me? Um, how were you telling him that? And you didn't have that conversation with me. And I think that was when, after that, I think maybe a week later, he called me and was like, oh, and I think that's when I was like, yeah, what's up or something. And
Don't
I
even
didn't,
try it.
and
She's trying
then
to act all tough and
you,
nonchalant. Remember what I said earlier? Hold on, wait a minute.
all
Remember
those
what I
children,
said earlier with
I
a
had
real man?
2 daughters in
Rushing
college.
to that phone, you can't wait to get that phone. They be
I
like,
had two, no,
"See, try it."
you have no idea. No, I really wasn't, because I was really kind of like, plus, don't forget how you had an Atara, if she's still on this call, she remembers how you annoyed me, like that holy day prior. I didn't know who you were. Remember, you kept coming like, where is the food ready? Is the food ready? I'm a prince. And I was like, who is this guy?
I
Keep
ain't do all
asking
that.
for food. And that's when Atara was like, oh, were y'all talking already? You don't remember all that?
I didn't even know you then.
I didn't either, but when I found out that was who you were, I was really like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. You don't remember that? We had that
Let me tell a story. You couldn't wait. You said, really? All right, let's go.
no.
No, she was really nonchalant and laid back. Yeah, she was. She was very disciplined, very much in control of herself. We talked for hours about difficult things, real life situations, and things that really matter. I had to see where her mind was and what type of woman she was, what she desired, and what her vision was for herself. I had to know those things as well. And I told her what mine was and what I'll be doing and what my plans were. And she went along with the program. But none of that mattered until the creator said, get over there and marry that girl. Because I wasn't going to marry her. And then when the Most High told me to go do it, I'm obedient. I went and did what he told me to do. And I'm thankful. And I'm thankful that he got into my subconscious mind and said, what I tell you to do, boy? And he had to punch me, because she's been nothing but an asset. I ain't going to say nothing but an asset. She's been an asset, a very big asset into almost everything that you see today. Without her, a lot of this stuff would have been very, very extremely difficult to achieve and accomplish had she not been there. So the Most High knew what he was doing. He said, I got a place for her in your life, man. Get your head straight. Get over there and get that girl. So I did what he told me to do. I took her, and I'm thankful. It's been a blessing. May the Most High be praised. It's been a blessing. But I can tell you this. She's right about one thing that she said earlier. To come into this life as another wife is a very competitive thing. You know why it's competitive? Because my Nashim do a lot, especially this one. They do a lot. And competitive meaning that you would be wanting to keep up with them, but if you ain't on point, you ain't gonna be able to keep up because they busy. They busy. This one right here, super busy. Super busy. And she has things that she do with a smile. She doesn't frown up about what she got to do. She smiles when what she takes joy and pleasure in building the community. She takes pleasure in it. So I just step back and let her do her thing. All right.
So that, sister, for asking that question. I think a lot of people want to know, because I see comments in here about how they didn't. People were wondering how we got together. But
Well,
yeah,
believe me, she went through the fire. I had to take her through. I even tested her to see if she was really about the creator or if she was just trying to give up some stuff just so she could be married. You remember that test?
yep.
That's right. I even tested her to see, and she stood strong. She stood strong all the way to the end. And I said, all right, she cool. We gonna see what we can do. All right, be it the Most High's will. And then we took it a little bit further. And we courted, I think, 6 months. We courted, I believe it was 6 months.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then after that, it was a wrap. She was in. So that's how that went down. Any more questions? Who asked that question
Oh,
anyway?
you
Was
said,
that Casey?
yeah, that was Tracy. Yes.
Yeah.
So Sister Lioness Fire said, "Did I test him?" Yes, I did.
But
Not
she
on the level.
didn't need to test me
Not
because
on.
all the things she asked the creator for, they just came naturally with me. Now go ahead.
Um, I would say I will admit what he just said is true because, like I said, I had been married. I had been married twice before my each for about 5 years with my children, my younger children's father, and then for 5 months with another brother who was in this way of life. Who I was warned so many ways not to marry him, but you know what we do, we do. But when him and I, the day we got divorced, I made a vow to the Creator that I would not go into another marriage, courtship, relationship unless the man possessed all these different values that I knew I needed for me because I knew I was just going in the wrong direction by choosing and just going off of feelings versus what I needed in my life and what my children needed. And so, and like I said, I never told a single soul about my vow to the Creator. And then I didn't even tell my husband about my vow until after we were married. But what I listened to the Creator, and everything that I made a vow about a man, he did it without him knowing that I made that vow. And so that's what basically, honestly, that was my test. Honestly, the Creator, I didn't test the Creator, if that's not the answer, but I tested my vow and I listened to the Creator. My test was really for me to if I was going to listen and do what my vow said and follow that, or if I was just going to go out and just break that vow and be with any man that came attracted to me. Because prior to him, I was kind of I was initiated into a conversation with a brother, and there was other brothers who had came talking, about wanting to talk to me. But, I held that vow close to my heart, and I wanted exactly what I prayed and vowed to the Creator for. So that was my test. I mean, of course, there was things I questioned him about, but ultimately the vow was everything that allowed me to see who he was on that level. And then of course, once we got married and I met his children, that showed me a lot about who he was as well. When he met my children the same way, he's saying I had a lot of children. I have 5 children, but when we married, 2 of my daughters were in college. My oldest son was in, I think, a senior in high school, and my 2 younger children were at home with me. So when we got married, they actually moved with me to Philadelphia. But yeah, so those tests came at different times. But till this day, he's a great provider for me and my children. Um, and I think the tests came through other ways, though. It wasn't necessarily me all the time either. My ex-husband, I was going through a very tumultuous um, child custody battle with him. And my husband, was very supportive of me and my children throughout the whole process, even when the children, the younger ones were being taught by their father to disobey us. My husband still stood strong and, was a father or is a father for them, being present in their lives. And so that was a test for me as well, because, it's not easy going through a battle and then seeing somebody go through a battle and you don't, have too much to be able to help them with. So, so yeah, that's if that answered the question. I know that was kind of long winded, but that's
This
it.
the lioness throwing up hearts all over the place. She really liked your conversation. All right. Any other questions or comments, family? Sneaking in there with them slick questions. How about you, Prince? Let's put you on the spotlight. What you think? What made you attracted to her? Sharon, Sister Sharon say part two. Only if you'll come in and join us with some questions and comments, sis, we'll have part two. We promise you. And if we need to do it next week, we'll do it next week. Any other questions or comments, family?
I don't think so.
I want to say shalom to my brother, Nasi. Shabbat shalom, my brother. Thanks for coming in, dropping in. Hang around for a little while. And happy Shabbat to you as well. Now, if there's any questions or comments that you might have, you can ask them or type them in the room, and we'll try to address them if we can. All right. Thank you, sis. So we'll do it next week, Creator willing. All right, family. So we're going to invite everybody back next week. If you guys are here, then come in and do what we do. We start at 11 o'clock in the morning. We have regular class, regular Torah service, or whatever topic we're going to discuss, but it's usually something dealing with the scriptures. And then we do thanks to the Most High in the morning, and then afterwards we deal with a commandment where you all go out and get your commandments, bring it in, write your scripture, and give us the understanding of the commandment. And then we go into our topic of the day or Bible study, whichever one is first. All right. But now there's something new that we're trying to do. It will begin next Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up. Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, we want to have people who have different points of views about our way of life to come in and speak on their point of view. To come in and speak on their point of view. And it's not for us to tear them up, to kick them out and prove them wrong. That's not what it's up to. But it is up to us to ask them questions. We would like for the audience to ask questions, as well as myself. I'm going to ask questions. And whoever else is on the screen with that speaker is going to have the opportunity to ask questions. Yes, next Wednesday night, next Rebbe at 8 o'clock at night, we're going to go live and we're going to do it. Now, the first one I got to commit was one of the fellow brothers from Cincinnati, Moray from Cincinnati. I'm trying to think whether I should say his name yet, but I will. His name is Moray Ishaya. He has agreed to come in and discuss the day and night issue, how a day begins in the daytime. He has agreed to come in and discuss that portion for us. So that's what he's going to do. And again, I want to make this clear to everyone. This is not a debate. We don't do debates. We don't do arguments. We don't do no frustrating stuff. This is about the elevation of our people. All right? So you can write down your questions. You can write down your comments. You can even write down the scriptures that you might have that you would like for him to address. And then next week, we're going to have that issue. The week after that, I got a sister scheduled. She hasn't confirmed yet, but I got a sister scheduled who I asked to do a presentation on the New Testament. She always comes in with all this vital information about the New Testament. So I asked her to come in and do a presentation about the New Testament. All right, so she, Creator willing, she'll be doing her presentation the following week. And then next week, and it's all about controversial issues. Everything that we're dealing with is controversial stuff so that we can weed out the problems out of our community and strengthen our community and build up some strength in our community for our people. So she's going to talk about the New Testament and the different things that she see in the New Testament. Next week, the brother's going to talk about the when the day begins, night and issue, day and night. And if you have any other questions, or if you got somebody that you would like to see come on and speak their part that just do things different, please hit me up, write it in the room, in the chat, and let me know so we can contact those individuals and see if we can get them on the page. We need to learn. And there are so many people who hold hard to their ideals because they've been taught by somebody. They hold hard to those teachings, and those teachings can't hold weight. So we need to challenge these things. But then there's a lot of things that people don't know that are needed and necessary. And maybe through this platform, they can hear some of those things so that they can make the proper adjustments in their lives and change from the way that they've been serving the Creator onto a better way of serving the Creator. So that's what we intend to do. I believe, I understand, and I know with all that is within me, the truth can withstand any test as long as it's the truth. All right? So this will not be no debate. You won't hear nobody raising their voice, getting arrogant, getting loud, having to shut them off. No, we don't do that. And if anybody on the sideline is disrespectful, they get banned for life. That's just the way we play. We don't move like that. Okay? So we're going to be very upfront, very open, transparent, very respectful, very honorable, because all this is for the righteousness of our people. It's not so Prince can get any accolade. It's so that the nation will begin in the process of healing. That's what this class is about. So that the nation will begin in the process of healing. I'd like to thank you all on the sideline who came in and shared and exchanged information with us. Thank you so very much. But I have to take my hat off to the three sisters that came in today and joined us on the platform. Sister Casey, Sister Sharon Ephraim, and Sister Rofi Crown. Thank you very much. May the Most High be praised, and may the Most High give you a blessing that you desire out of your life, just to show you how pleased with your efforts He was with you today. All right? All of you on the side, thank you very much. It wouldn't be a class without you, and we're grateful. So please, family, before we close it out, share it to your social media platforms, copy the link and the share button on the link, and share it in your messenger on your phone. All throughout, any way you can share it so that more people can view it, see it, and gravitate to it, and have some of the problems that they might face in their life resolved. May the Most High be praised from everlasting to everlasting, for He is King. Ima, did you want to say anything?
Just total about for everybody coming in, and Creator willing, we'll see everybody next Wednesday's the fourth day.
Yes.
With VE at 8 p.m. on this platform. At 8 p.m. with Maria Shaya. And yeah, I mean, most of you who are on in the comments or on the platform have my either phone number or can message me on Facebook, and any questions or things like that, you all are definitely welcome to do so prior to next Shabbat. If you know any questions that you all may want us to address, we can do so. And then also outside of this, we do have a sisterhood group that we have meetings with. We will start to, I can't tell you all a date yet, but we are going to start to have like a sisters night chat open like this with just the sisters, where we can come on and discuss Bible verses or issues within sisterhoods, or anything that needs to be discussed that can be discussed in the open forum. It won't be a counseling session because we don't want everybody in the midst of that, but it will be a space for us to be able to talk and kind of throw out ideas and get to know one another and help each other in this process of being women, mothers, and wives, and community leaders and leaders, in the midst of this nation or this world that we're in. So,
tell them about the fundraiser.
Oh, well,
it's not time.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you slide this week, but we got to get right up on it.
Okay. Well, it's only because it's still the Shabbat.
So I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Pray to forgive me. You're right. My apologies. All right, no problem. All right, so are there any other questions we need to address? Oh, Sister Sharon said, "Where's my automatic box at?" It's right here, sis. I just didn't plug it in, but it's right here.
Please, let's keep it unplugged, sis.
She says, "Where's your automatic box at?" It's
But
right here.
yeah,
All right. So there's no more questions, no more comments. All right. May the Most High be praised. Creator willing, we see you all on River E this week coming. Shalom, shalom.
you gonna close with prayer?
You're gonna. All right. We all turn face to east, please. Abi, our King, our Master, our Savior, the one in whom we trust for all things. We come into you at this time, Abi, asking for permission to approach unto your throne. Father, thank you for your help that you have given unto us in the time of need. Thank you, Father, for all that you have given to us in our time of desire. Thank you, Father, for being so good unto us and for not forsaking us and leaving us alone to ourselves, to our own thoughts, our own imagination, but yet showing us your truth, taking us by the hand and leading us by the way, and helping us to serve each other as we walk in the truth and the light and understanding of serving you. There is no power like you, not in the heavens above, nor the earth beneath, neither in the waters beneath the earth. Truly, you reign supreme, and we wouldn't trade you for anything, Father. You are our master. You have called us from the pits of hell, from the darkness of light. You have brought us into the light that we might be able to see the glory in you and all that you have for us and all that you have in store for us in the future years to come. Help us to fit right in your process of things, Father. Allow us to find our place and do it well. Allow us to find the given talents that you have placed into our spirit, into our essence, into our lives, to make us to be the best versions of ourselves. Help us to see, Father, in this time of darkness, that we may walk in your light forever, that we might be an asset to the lives of others who are in need, who are depressed, who are hungry, who are starving, who are not clothed, who are not being fed, who are not being nourished. Help us to be an asset into their lives like you have been an asset into ours. For you are great, you are mighty, and you are the King of Israel. Therefore we praise, we honor, and we worship thy glorious name. Creator, we ask that the lessons that we have been taught today, the things that we have learned, that it seep into the subconscious mind, and we begin to do those things which are right, pleasing, and acceptable according to the teachings that you have allowed us to receive this day. Unto thee, O power, we humble ourselves now and forevermore, and we all say, Toda Abi, Abi, Toda Rabbi. Thank you, Father, for hearing our prayers. You know, family, I want to say something real quick. We don't do things the traditional way. We don't follow the tune and the beat and the heartbeat of somebody else who have come many years before us to tell us how to do things and how an Israelite service, Israelite teachings is supposed to be performed. You know what we do? See, you can go to all these other rooms and you'll see things like that, the same repetition over and over, and very similar in a lot of these different areas. But they've been doing this for a very long time, and it's not healing our people. It's not helping our people. I mean, it brings us a temporary moment of stimulation, but it's not giving us what we need to walk outside of these doors of the houses of worship or our own house and become a new person. a better person, an asset to the society in which we find ourselves living today. This is what we do. This is what we attempt to do. We try to deal with the problems that are facing our people so that we can better them, so that we can guide them into the wonderful graces of the Most High to learn how to win His favor and how to live their lives according to His will. We try to equip you with the proper spirit to go out and face the adversities of this world, the sicknesses, the poverty, the stressfulness. We try to equip you with the right things so that when your challenge comes, your test comes, you'll pass your test and your challenge. So you won't find us jump into the tune of a lot of other places that you can go on the Shabbat and listen to. I can't wait till we can get some music. That would be a wonderful thing, but that's only going to make our classes longer. But we don't have an issue with that either. We would like to be able to entertain you with music, singing, and dance and shouting and all those things like a lot of other places. But it's not because they do it. It's because we understand that that's a necessity when you're opening up the spirit to get closer to the Creator. So we understand that. But we will do our very best to equip you with all the armor that you need to go out into this war zone out here in these streets and come back victorious into your homes from day to day, from week to week, from year to year. May the Most High be praised. And remember, we pray 3 times a day at a minimum. 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and right before you go to bed. 3 times at a minimum. And we fast 1 day a week at a minimum. Tuesday night at 12 o'clock till Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. No food. And for a lot of us, no food or water. Every Tuesday night at 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock Wednesday night. All right? May the Most High be praised. Toda Rabbah.
Shabbat Shalom.